fearless follower of Manchester United in the EPL. He's the guy we call Sparrow. Let's say hello to Spencer Nyamadzao. Yes, Sparrow.
Afternoon, legendary CNN. Of course, a fascinating encounter awaits us here at Ruvaro. I mean, Hardrock have all to play for. Should they want to cut down the 10-point lead that's been opened by Scotland to 7 points, they need to win against the students. But they don't come easy. The students are very good at frustrating all the top teams, and especially at Rufaro, they play very well. They play as a unit, and they know how to grind results. And they're a team that really does well. And with a bit of luck, they could also go for the championship. Should they really go into the market, look for experienced players, they can actually do that. I was talking to the coach. He was saying they've got a development side where they take the players they don't usually like to buy. Hence, they always play within the top 4, top 8. But I think it will be a good encounter this afternoon.
Yes, definitely promises to be a good encounter. And yes, we will keep you updated on what is happening elsewhere in the country. At Ngoni Stadium, Moors, the Panthers take on Dinamo Dimbare. The Dynamo supporters are saying the team of the moment. We will see what happens at Ngoni Stadium. We will also keep you updated on what will be happening at Wazanai Stadium. The Sporting Eagles, Agama, take on the Sugar Boys, Triangle United, who are rooted at the standings of the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League. So it promises to be quite an afternoon. Yesterday we had 5 matches. Yes, we saw Psl United being held to a goalless draw by Ngezi Platinum. Of course, we also know that Highlanders featured in another draw at Mandava 1-1, and Chickenina managed to get the better of Manika Diamonds by 2-1. ZPC Kariba and FC Hunters, it ended 1-1. So that was the action from yesterday. And Jose, today, yes, Herentals met. They've only met once because, Hardrock only got promoted this season. They only met once, but boy, they got a drubbing, 4-1 at Chawanda Stadium.
At Chawanda Stadium, Herentals will want to forget memories from that particular game. And they have no one else to try and forget besides Sambulo Simelani, who was one of the goal scorers. Then there was Last Nyilenda, as well as a double from Wilfred Manzungu, who buried Herentals out in Kwekwe. So maybe Herentals want to come into this game, forget about that particular fixture, and start afresh and say, no, we just need to win this particular game. Let's focus on this game. Let's not linger on the memories that are very unpleasant from Kwekwe. And then they'll be looking forward, of course, to their dependable Ralph Kawendera, who's one player who's been reliable in terms of supplying goals for the students. And, we want to see how it's going to pan out, but definitely they want to forget that game and look at this game as it comes in its isolation and say, let's get a result, and we see what happens from there. But my worry, though, CNN, is if I look at the last 5 games for Herentals, they've scored 3 goals in the last 5 games and conceded 2. So that means there hasn't been much goal action at both ends of the pitch. Because look, they had 2 goalless draws in the last 5 matches. So I'm trying to see how they can inspire themselves to harvest more goals.
Okay. Right. Just as we look at the graphics there, the Herentals 5 last encounters there. Yes, Sparrow, as we see the last game, of course, they won. They beat Triangle United, and they also beat the Green Machine here at Rufaro Stadium.
Well, of course, they've got 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. And like Joe highlighted, they haven't been scoring. I mean, they've managed to score 3 goals in the last 5 games. And a possible 15 points, they managed to pick up 8 points. So really, they need to continue working, pushing, looking forward. I think the overlines of goals coming from Ralph Kawendera. Of course, they've got Dreamer, who's also not in. He's also one guy who also comes up with those goals for Herentals. So I think as long as Kawendera is not on song,
the registrar, they call it.
The registrar. They tend to struggle to get those goals. So I think that's been the Achilles heel for Herentals in terms of not getting spreading the goals amongst the team. So really, Ralph Kawendera on top there with the top goal scorers. I think he's 2 behind the top goal scorers.
I think
one. I think he's done very well for Herentals. And if they can spread those goals among the team, I think they can also be pushing for honors.
Yes, of course, the registrar Ralph Kaondera is just one behind. There are actually 3 top goal scorers in the country, if you care to know. It's Kama Billiard of Scotland, Washington Navajo of Hardrock, and Frank Agyamang. Right, okay. This is the moment where you always want to give you that upbeat feeling and take a look at how they arrived. Of course, let's take a look first at how the students, Herentals College Football Club, rolled into Rufaro Stadium. Joe.
Yes, and of course we see the Herentals driving into the home of football in Bari, and we want to see if the guys will be buoyed and excited and looking forward to this particular fixture. Look at the beautiful shows there, and we want to see how are they looking forward to this encounter, or are they looking reserved and conservative?
Jose, let me sorry to butt in. That's a coach, not a bus.
Oh yes,
that's
thank you for the correction. While you're speaking about that, Senate, I think now in the league it has become a trend.
Yes,
that the teams have also emphasized on how they travel.
Yes.
You know, they want to travel in comfort. Look at the changing room there, the pink of Herentals. So they've emphasized on the other elements around a football team, just beyond the 90 minutes on the football field. You want to look at the player welfare. You are traveling long distances. Like now, Herentals can travel all the way to Mutare, Bulawayo.
Maybe to America where the World Cup finals
Yes,
are.
you never know.
You never know.
So,
immigration.
What that tells us is how the teams have been investing in their institutions to try and make sure they are remaining professional, and everything that they do is also competitive if you look at other teams and in other leagues. So it's a good outfit for our local football.
That's right. So I think also just coming there saying, and I think we must also give credit to Nyasha Mshekwi because he set the pace with Caps United.
As we see the Kasongo Golden Boys, Hardrock, yes, all the way from the Midlands, rolling into Rufaro Stadium. Avazi mubazi mwanomda, vari mu coach, in a coach.
I mean, that's a beautiful bus. I mean, that's a beautiful coach, should I say. I mean, look at them arriving at Rufaro. And I think it gives players also comfort when they're traveling, especially going further places. I mean, they can relax. The bus has got a built-in kitchen, got a built-in toilet where the guys can relieve themselves along the way. Wi-Fi, and they've also got chargers. Some of them got television, so they can actually watch movies when they're going. I think this is a great development for the game.
Yeah. Don't you want to be a soccer player? You're mfana. Itazo upinde mkochi ne wifi mwanomdara cellphone andinopiwa over cellphone yako mbotaura na blazo kana kuti nengesha kudeni. So yes, Sparrow, I mean nowadays it's really traveling in style and comfort, isn't it?
No, I think it's impressive. It's good to see that teams are investing in football, investing in infrastructure. I think it's about time every team has a coach, and I think it will be a good thing for Zimbabwean football.
Mm-hmm. It will be a grand thing. So the records for Herentals and Hardrock more or less the same. 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss. For Hardrock as well, 2 wins, 2 draws and 1 loss. Well, excluding that one that they lost to the high-profile replay that they lost at Baobab Stadium to Dynamos by 1-0, 2-1 then. That was the eventual scoreline. Right, Herentals. Right, who are the key players for the students? Of course, you can talk about the students and not mention the number 20, that's the registrar, Ralph Kaondera. It's been scoring for fun. And there's also Prince Chama in there. There's also Choba, that's Wilmo Chimbetu, and there's also Milton Chimeza. And yes, Jose, those 4 will need to be carefully watched by the Kasongo Golden Boys. Of course, the registrar, there you see him, Jose. he's scoring. And he's not an out-and-out striker, is he?
Yeah, he's not. And I think he's one player who's used as a utility at Herentals. 1 minute, you see him defending. The other minute, you see him deciding things in the middle of the park. And the other minute, you see him banging goals. So I think he's one player who might be difficult to mark, whether you want to track him man for man or you just want to make sure he doesn't play the way he wants to play. But either way, Ralph Kawandera will always give you problems. And I'm sure Coach Kelvin Kaindu for Hardrock might have had a word or two for his players to say, we need to guard him, we need to watch what he does so that he doesn't damage us. But definitely you can't dismiss him out of any fixture. And then you talk of even Chimbetu, Wilma, Chimbetu, you talk of even
Milton Chimedza there.
Yeah, Chimedza. And there are also players that can decide the direction of an outcome. They are gritty, they are industrious. And I think also I like his vision, Chimedza. I like his vision. If you look at the way he strings passes around, he's one player who can also make a determination on where the game is going to be decided. So Herentals, I think they have enough ammunition in their camp. And of course, I know there's always been a narrative that Herentals play with one-man shot because of the IB9 factor. But if you look at a team like Herentals, grinding the results that they are producing and currently taking position 6 on the log, surely there must be respect for Herentals. And there's no explanation besides the team playing as a unit.
There's Wilmore Chimbetu. They call him Chopper. Yes, I mean, by now, you all know. He comes from the Chimbetu family. Chopper, of course, the nickname of the now departed Simon Chimbetu. Well, his dad is Simon Chimbetu's brother. So, Chopper. Yes, Trison, if you didn't know. Anoriza Madram the Puti Chopper with Wilmore Chimbetu Amurgona. So, many talents here.
Very talented.
Well,
I mean,
what else did you do? I know a good basketball player he was. What else? What
well,
else?
I played basketball, I played soccer, I played cricket in school.
Wow, would you answer that?
No, and the flower.
Yeah, Prince Shama, that's another key player for the students. Prince Shama, yes, very unassuming, but Jose, he can drive the students to glory.
He can. He's one of the players that I think Hardrock have to look out for. Because I think he's one player who's composed with the ball. He's very comfortable with the ball. And I think he's one player that might also influence the direction of the points distribution this afternoon. And look, Hardrock are better advised to make sure they shut out those players. Even Chimbetu, you're talking about Chimbetu defensively. He's a rock at the back of the Herentals defense. So it's going to be an interesting game. But I think, CNN, the game will probably be decided in the midfield battles of the two teams.
Yeah. As we see Washington Navaya now, Washington for Hardrock.
Yes, remember he was the top goal scorer last season, and even this season he's also part of the conversation on the top goal scorers list. And he's one player to watch if Herentals will give him room. I've also noticed that these days he's deployed more like a second striker, not really an outright striker. So which also might be a tactical headache for Coach Benza, Celestino Benza for Herentals, to say how is he going to address the Navaya factor, who of course will be supported by players like the Don. Mudadi. Yes.
Right, Gaddafi, there he is, the former Highlanders kingpin, now at Hardrock. Gaddafi, that's Prince Dube, still making, this is his second game for Hardrock, and he's still, finding his footing, but Sparrow, we know, when Gaddafi finds his footing, then all hell breaks loose.
I think he's a prolific striker. Once he gets his footing right, as you see him going through his paces before the game here. I watched him play last week. He got about 20-25 minutes last week against Caps United. He came on, he had some good runs. Unfortunately, he didn't score, but he showed that he's a quality player, and he is a good addition for Hardrock. We'll also have two good strikers, and with Washington Navaya and Prince Dube, you've got two key players who you need to worry for Herentals, and I think
this is the key one.
Donald Mudadi.
Donald Mudadi. Yes, I gave him that nickname because boy, oh boy, he controls things. He's not part of the mafia, because the mafia, that's where you get the Don. But he's the head of Hardrock, and he controls that.
And he controls the midfield. Last week he had a fantastic game against Caps United. He was dictating the pace in the middle of the park. That encounter was a fascinating encounter, but Donald Mudadi was outstanding for Hardrock, and he had a very good game against Caps United.
Yes, so I think Herentals will know that the Dawn has got to be kept under tight security. Otherwise, they will regret it. And then this is the arrival from Eswatini, formerly Swaziland. He is called the Tiger. His proper name is Meliswe Dlamini, and he has been quite a revelation as he has been added to the Kasongo Golden Boys lineup. Tiger.
Yes, Tiger is one player that I think has shown us potential that we have every reason to expect more from him in the local premiership. And again, he's also has another fellow Eswatini teammate in there. So which also speaks of how maybe our league has been attractive to talent coming outside our borders. Because look, it's not only Hardrock with foreign-based play or foreign-born players. So, which is also a good advert for our local league. And if you look at how they've come in and influenced the conversation of our local football, you can see that they've added value.
We see another goal scorer, sorry to butt in there, that's Manzungu. He scored a brace when he came in as a substitute in that game, that memorable draw against Caps United.
Yes, yeah, Manzungu. But look, if you are talking about potential goal scorers for Hardrock, I think one thing that I've also noticed and the like is that their goals can come from elsewhere, even if Navaya is shut out. So I think that's a consolation for Coach Kelvin Kaindu to say, look, if Navaya is shut out, there are still other sources of goals that can feed them in. I also, my other worry, if you look at the game that they drew 3-3 with Caps United, for me in football, if a team scores 3 goals, you shouldn't drop points. So it means it's a point of concern for me to say you score 3 goals, but you concede 3 goals. You know, yeah, it doesn't bode well for a team or for a coach. So I want to plug that hole again, Coach Kelvin Kaindu at the back, and say, my guys, let's start back.
Yes, now is that time to transport you into the coach's minds. First, we talked to the man we call Uncle Celestino Benza. Then we talked to Pastor KK, that's Kelvin Kaindu. Take a listen.
Despite the fact that we lost 4-1 in Kwekwe, we're not under any pressure today. And as we always say that for us it is always the opportunity for the youngsters to showcase their talent. And I always give them that opportunity, and I'm happy that everyone is doing well. And today we are at home, so we're not going to be bullied. We're going to come all out to try and attack and win the game. Every game is different from the previous game. So we know that today we are playing against a different opponent with different tactics and different players. So we always approach those games differently. So for us, today's game, we know that we are playing against a team that is good at attack. So for us, it's more of us trying to stop them from getting those goals and us converting. The last game, we had Blessing Piri and we had also Govu. We're in the central midfield. And today we brought back our captain, Rauf Kawandera, and also we brought in Milton Chimedza to start the game.
They are a team that are unpredictable. On their day, they can surprise you. They pick points even where you don't expect them to pick points. They have been consistent here and there. They are a dark horse. You just see them probably on top of the log, and this is what they can do. But we don't want to dwell on the performance of our last game that we played against them. We know how stable they are, how comfortable they are. They are a bit strong, they are a bit physical, and we just hope that we keep our tactics right today. Our first objective was for us to stay in the Premier League. We are a newly promoted side, and where we are by now, I think we can almost confirm that we are not going to be part of the teams that will be fighting relegation. So if we are consistent, I'm sure we can even finish in a better position. Yes, there are still some games to be played. We have done well in terms of scoring. It's just unfortunate in the last 2 games we have managed to concede 4 goals, but that's being football. And we just hope that we work on the mistakes that we have made in the last few games.
Right, you had the 2 gaffers there, right? That's the Hardrock ensemble. Right, quick predictions first, Jose.
Unhappy travelers, and they are not happy when they come to Rufaro. I think it's going to be a 2-all draw.
2-all draw. Sparrow.
2-1 to Hardrock.
2-1 to Hardrock. Andiskupinde. Umbonzwa simbimbino way. Right, okay, what we're going to do is to our commentary box where we join Tindo Tastendai Sibanda, who is sitting alongside the man we call Makela Maxwell Mandizita. Herentals taking on Hardrock. We'll be talking to at halftime.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for match day number 22 here at Rufaro Stadium. Day number 3 of what promises to be an exciting encounter, as we have two teams that played in the reverse fixture, and it was the home team that won by 4-1. But this time they play travelers as they play against Herentals, the team that is at home here at Rufaro Stadium. This is Herentals playing against Hardrock for match day number 22. And the pictures on your screens represent fans and fans alike coming into the field of play and also coming into the theatre that is Rufaro Stadium, where they are going to be witnessing what is going to be a glorious afternoon of football. Now, Hardrock are a team that is currently on position number 2 on the log table, 10 points that separate them from the log leaders, that is Scotland Football Club, 49-39, and they are playing against a side that is currently on 6th position. Not a lot has been going on for Herentals, but they are a boogie side, as said by the Hardrock manager, that is Kevin Kaindu. Now the players in the dugout just waiting for confirmation to leave and enter onto the field of play. And from there onwards, we will start seeing what is going to be a promising afternoon of football. And the man on your picture, very confident and very vibrant, dressed in his traditional colors, and is ready to lead his team that has come from the mining town of Kwekwe. But is it going to be a different afternoon of football here at Rufaro Stadium? We wait to see how it's going to pan out as we also wait in the commentary gantry. And they are the players, colorful and bright, green and yellow, pink and white, representing the two teams that will step on the field and live it all in 90 minutes of football, being led by the 4 men who are going to be taking charge of officiating the game, and that is Ralph Kaondera, the man who has made a name for himself so far in the Kasulaga Premier League, bearing the armband, the burden of a team that is slowly becoming a boogie side in the 2026 season. But for Hardrock, they do say it's still opportunity for them to win a couple of games and say past Scotland, who are on top of the table. It's a game of belief, it's a game of hope, it's a game of ambition. But at the end of the day, those that do score and that avoid conceding will eventually win. And we are going to be waiting for the national anthem, and after that we do introduce the players and whoever is responsible that needs mentioning. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the national anthem of Zimbabwe to kickstart us off for what is going to be a glorious last day of match day number 22. Day 3 of games that started on Friday, running up until Sunday. And after that, we wrap up match day number 22. Now, welcome fans of football across the world, fans of football in Zimbabwe, and fans of the Kasolaga Premier League. This is the live broadcast of match day number 22 here at Rufaro Stadium. Herentals, the home team, try to redeem themselves after falling on match day number 5 at the hands of Hardrock in the city of Kwekwe by 4-1. But this time, they believe they have an opportunity to turn the leaf and play some dominant football as they promised from their coach in the pre-match conference. Now they say it's an opportunity for them to do good, to be dominant and play solid football. This is 6th taking on number 2, and a lot separates these two teams, but it's all going to be left out to be parodied in the 90 minutes that we are going to be witnessing some good football here at Rufaro Stadium. Now we're going to be looking at the referees, Lawrence Zimondi, the center ref, first assistant Victor Kambazo, Tafere Piri as the second assistant, Langton Makukoba as the fourth official, and those are the men that have been trusted to start, together with Norman Matemera as the match commissioner. My name is Tendai Spanda, and besides me is Maxwell Mandiriza, who's going to come in quite shortly and give us his analysis of what he expects to see from these two teams. And in your picture, that is Herentals, the home team in their traditional pink and white, or white and pink. And looking into the starting 11, not so many changes coming in from Celestino Benza, Tino Tenda Takarinda as the goalkeeper, Brighton Majarira, Tinashe Mpuma, Ralph Kaundera, and Womo Chumbe to retain their post as the solid back line. Eric Dombo, Tawanda Chisi, and Blessing Majarira in that midfield. The veteran Innocent Benza retains his spot together with Blessing Majarira and Milton Chimenza. Now for Hardrock, a couple of new faces are starting, the likes of Prince Dube and Gerard Takwara, who are new signings. Martin Mapisa comes in for Tonderai Mateaunga, Lennox Mcheto and Marshall Gawasa retain their spots in midfield. Donald Mudadi is the anchorman. Sambulo Simelani playing on the flanks together with Nalisco Tlamini. One of the top goal scorers, joint top goal scorers in the league, Washington Navaya, will be sharing the duties with Prince Dube. And that is what Kevin Kaindu has trusted and has planned out before we get into the upcoming 90 minutes. And there is the man deep in thought, maybe deep in prayer, as he was always looking for divine intervention, always believing there's a higher power that will guide. Maybe it's just not talent alone, and that is confirmation of the cross. Maybe it's Catholic, maybe it's not. But at the end of the day, is that going to count? The football needs intervention as well. So the players are going through their pre-match rituals, and that's your center ref. And the Hardrock players playing homage to the fans that have traveled all the way from Kwekwe, and those that are still supporting from around Harare and all the surrounding towns and cities. Kevin Kayendu, the man who's full of confidence. Why would he not be after his team is currently sitting on second position on the log table? He says we've done the needful. The first job was to survive relegation, and he says we are glad we are not going to be part of the teams that are going to be axed when the season comes to an end with 12 games remaining. But he does say also there's still opportunity to surpass Scotland, who are also trying to win the league. And we are underway. Maxo Mandishidze will be giving us live analysis.
Yeah, what a game that we have Tendai on our hands. And Hardrock have brought the band already up and singing, trying to push their team forward. Remember, it's a team that at one point was deep into that title race and also leading the log table actually at some point. Now 10 points adrift from the top. Now visiting Herentals, who have had a wonderful season themselves. I think Celestino Benza and his charges will be quite glad with the season that they have. Probably a little disappointed with how their form has dipped a little bit, and now sitting 6th on the log table. It promises to have goals. This one, a very exciting matchup between the two. And you would remember that the first one, it was Hardrock who won it by 4-1. I'm quite sure Herentals would want to change that outcome this afternoon on a Sunday.
Well, they do say history does matter as they are coming into match day number 22. And it is something that Celestino Benza did highlight, or as he was interviewed, saying that we don't really want to look into that. Almost 17 games have gone by, or rather, since the last time they played, and he doesn't really want to look into that result. Hardrock coming into this game missing a couple of crucial names, the likes of Manashe Bamara, and the man who scored a brace against Caps United will be starting on the bench. Wilfred Madzungu was the man of the match. And you obviously would want to think that a man that has been scoring back-to-back would be trusted, but it probably not being left out intentionally, but it's a tactic. Remember, they also have Prince Dube in their folder. Now Hardrock charging forward. They will take the first shot of the game. Not so much venom from it, as they are trying to cause so many problems in the opening minutes.
Yeah, the likes of Prince Dube will be the players to watch for Hardrock coming into this team. We have gone on to get more firepower, even if they were already having the goals. And of course, you can never underestimate Navaya, who has been key to their season as well.
So now Milton Chimeze darting forward on the left channel and will float it into the box, but too high for the two forwards who had already made the place in the box. Now Sambulu Simelani being stopped in his tracks by Chisi. We have been seeing quite a number of games start of the season as a French player, but now he's been trusted to start games and he's operating on that right channel.
Yeah, heavy from TC that time around. He knew he had to get the ball. He did get the ball as well as the man, Simelani. Herentals will have to keep an eye on him on this left channel. He has been very impressive with these runs going forward as well.
So that's a foul almost close to the center circle, something that the center referee did manage to see. Lawrence Mondi, a lot of experience under his belt, the center ref, and that is the man who was responsible for this project, who goes by the name Chawanda, who's also here in our presence. Again, Sambulu being stopped by Chisi, but this time it's a foul that goes the opposite direction. It's going to be a tricky affair for these two players, the defender and the attacker. Simelani already feeling what he's going to be facing for the upcoming 90 minutes if he does survive. Now Ralph Kawandera, the loose pass.
Yeah, you can already see what Hardrock are trying to do with Simelani as well. Now you also have Ralph Kawandera, who's going to be key for Herentals. Now sitting a little bit deep. We all know that sometimes when the touch exchange, he has to push up a little bit. Hardrock, with the three players going forward, will be looking for pace on those flanks and cutting in the crosses and looking to supply Navaya.
So now Prince Dube will play it through to Dora Jumdadi. Sent forward. Now the captain for Hardrock, Tinotenda Maringai, leading on the assist charts for Hardrock with 3 to his name so far. A very dynamic and experienced left back, but this afternoon almost looks like, you look at a fan dressed in similar colors to the players on the pitch, but he's
you would think that is wearing a jersey if you don't look quite closely.
Oh yeah, the paint, also wanting to be involved. I'm actually talking about Tinotenda Maringai, who's a versatile defender, usually operates on the left channel, sometimes as a left back or left wing back, but this afternoon almost seems like he's stuck between as a central centre back in this back three that they seem to be deploying.
Yeah, it does look like that. I think Hardrock looking for those quick balls going forward, trying to catch Herentals on the counter. We did see in that 4-1 defeat how expressive the way on the counter-attack, quick passing going forward. Now with the addition of Prince Dube into the team as well, as we just take a look at that foul. I think he's complaining that it was hit on the head, but nothing really there to show.
She played forward, looking for Tonao Dumdadi. He does get to the ball and looking for an opportunity to play for support. Now Prince Dube finds Washington Navaye. Now Dube trying to unleash one, but there's heavy traffic ahead of him. Still in their possession, Hardrock, the miners. Hardrock will recycle play back to Tunatenda Mringaya, their captain. Gerard Takwara, one of the latest introductions or additions to this Hardrock side, a man who's not new to Zimbabwean football. Played most of his trade for FC Platinum. And in the previous decade was with Cholocho as well. Played his football in the Middle East for some time and is now back playing for Hardrock. As we have seen a lot of these experienced players returning to our local league, showing that there's somewhat sort of a lucrative pool that these players are experiencing, and is paying quite well.
Yeah, definitely quite pleased to see him in the squad and in the starting 11 as well. Takwara, we all know about his expeditions with the Warriors, and well known for his defensive ability, putting his body on the line. He would want to be doing the same for Hardrock. I think those are key players that they managed to get with Prince Dube as well forward. You would think they still believe that they're still in the race with the kind of players that they went on in the market to buy. I think it's a very balanced team that they have at Hardrock, which is why they've been able to produce most of the high-scoring games in the season so far.
So it's good when you do add international experience to your fold, the likes of Prince Dube and the likes of Gerard Takwara, the man who just cushioned the ball. Now Chisi will try to charge forward, looking for a free kick, and he does get the free kick. Lawrence Mondi took his time to make a decision, but after some few seconds, he's finally made a decision.
Yeah, that a led call from the referee that time around. Probably checking his time just to never thought about it. And you see, it looks like there was a little bit of a push on him. He could have gone either way. Probably the first assistant being the one to call it and ask the referee to blow for it.
So now Prince Chama was standing together with the most experienced player, I believe, in terms of age on the pitch, Innocent Benza. But it's not only now Prince Chama who's going to be taking that. Now Prince Chama with a lackluster delivery into the box, easy for Mringai to defend. Prince Dube dropping deep to make sure it's easy to start play on that right channel for Hardrock. Now Simelane going forward. Washington Navaye, the receiver, finds Tonao Dumdadi. And he does win the free kick, being doubled up by two players, Tinashe Puma.
Yeah, two players on him trying to win the ball, and it's a clear free kick for Hardrock.
There hasn't been easy movement of the ball so far in this opening 10 minutes. Both teams have really failed to impose themselves in the style of play they want to. Just showing you how much they've read each other coming into this fixture. Blessing Majarira, keeping pressure. Innocent Benza deciding not to keep it in play or holding it first time.
Yeah, quite interesting the way these two teams have set up tonight. You can see Hardrock trying to find the length and the width, but Herentals setting up a little bit narrow than usual. I think it's about making sure that they're manning the gaps. They know exactly how much tactically well acute Hardrock are going forward. And they haven't hit much of the ball so far. But you do all know that Rangers doesn't really need much of the ball to be effective in their play.
Of course. So now coming into this game, these two teams are not separated by much on the log table despite Hardrock being on position number 2. They have 39 points. And Herentals are coming in 6th with also 36 points. So it means it's not a big difference. And looking into the last 5 fixtures, they've managed to get 2 wins. And their last campaign on the previous weekend was a win. So it means they step into this one with a little bit of confidence. Prince Chama, loose pass. But he does well to recollect. Innocent Benza loses the ball.
Yeah, you'd wonder if the Rangers will be looking at Innocent Benza. They probably lacking the pace that is needed in this kind of a game. Making 1 or 2 loose touches when in a very dangerous position.
So now Washington Navaya. Prince Chama failing to defend it first time. But Mdadi going for the spectacular. Not the perfect connection that you would have wanted to cause so much problem for Tinotenda Ishitakarinda, but good run of course from the flanks from Washington Navaya.
Yeah, the fans loving it as well. Good control here from Dube, playing it to Navaya with a third time cross and probably just miscuing it, not really getting the power that you have wanted. But a very good chance that time around for Hardrock. Now getting a little bit of joy on those flanks, as we said. The Rangers have to keep an eye on those front 3. They really could cause them problems so far.
Now it's going to be an exciting afternoon for the defenders, because the man who just took the earlier chance, Donald Mdadi, seems to be roving forward more than the 2 trusted attackers. Wayward cross that was looking to make a way into the penalty area. And just talking about Donald Mdadi, you know, Hardrock are coming in with 2 good strikers in Washington Navai and Prince Dube, but they are not operating in those usual channels you usually see them in. They're somehow dropping deep and dropping to the flanks, and it is Mudadi who's just dropping into that position.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how much space and time Mudadi is getting. And the Rangers would keep their eyes on Navai and Dube, but they have to be wary of Mudadi as well. And Similani on this left turner trying to get the early crosses into the box, because he knows there are 2 good headers of the ball there, Navaya himself and Dube as well. So a lot of problems for Rangers to keep an eye on.
Mudadi. So Washington plays it to Tolani Ndlovu. Mudadi again. So far, the only player from the 2 teams has seen most of the ball. Now Prince Sharma will go forward. 3 players ahead of him. No, making a late run into the box, but Mapisa was well alert to that danger that came from the deflection after Chama had taken that cross. Now Prince Dube doing so much well with the chest control, playing Nelisut Lamini, who now charge into the box, locking his defender, but there is no foul from that. Good defending altogether from Herentals. Now they can go on the counter charge.
Yeah, good defending at the end, trying to cut back inside, and definitely nothing there to even mention of a penalty. Now you could just see as well Chama for the Rangers got some lovely space going forward before he whipped in that cross inside, and then on the counter Hardrock were also in the box.
Now Mudadi leaving it for Nelis with Lamini, who takes a shot from distance, parried away. Good strike, but the goalkeeper was well away, dived in time to keep it out of getting into the back of the net.
Yeah, good strike from Lynx. A little bit of a challenge for the goalkeeper that time around, because I think there was a sway. He had to keep his eyes on the ball and just managed to parry it away.
But not aware of what he was trying to do from that position. the Herentals man. And you can also see Ralph Gowandera, who's starting off as a centre back or as a defensive midfielder. You see how many times he likes to roll forward, and no wonder why he's part of the top goal scorers in the season. You're never sure of where he's playing. It just shows you how versatile he is.
Yeah, quite versatile he is. As we just see the young lads coming into the game as well, enjoying themselves. I think now the game just starting to pick up some pace from both sides. What we were expecting this game to do is exactly what we are saying. Hardrock probably a little bit on top in terms of the number of chances that they've been able to go forward.
Snutenda Moringai looking for options. Now Blessing Majerera keeping pressure up on him, making him to play a pass quickly, not the one that he would have wanted to play.
Yeah, good pressure the time around, and it results in a turnover of position. I think the Herentals have to do more of that. They shouldn't allow Hardrock more of the time to pick a pass. As we just see that chance again. A very good 10, and he was calling for a penalty, but definitely nothing on that. Just there, as he was on the edge of the box, into the box. Lovely 10, hands on him, but nothing to deserve a penalty.
Gerard Takwara being fouled there as he was in a contest with Milton Tremendza. The man who has seen so much football under his belt, both for club and country. Leaves everything on a pitch. Today almost playing as a defensive midfielder. He played in that position for FC Platinum before. So it just shows you the quality that he does have, dropping in as a centre back and as a defensive midfielder as well. And that's Martin Mapisa. Benza with the outside off the boot. Even before striking the ball, you're very much aware that this is exactly how he's going to take the free kick.
Yeah, with the outside of the foot. I'm not quite sure what he wanted to do that time around, whether he was looking for a pass, a cross, or a shot at goal. Quite a distance away that time around to try something like that. As we just see another Hardrock find in those lovely yellow and green colors as well. Well, at some point, I think Herentals have to make a choice with those set pieces, because you're probably not going to get as many chances. You have to make them count. At least put something in the box, a decent cross into the box, and get something going. You shouldn't be wasting those opportunities like that. I think Benza would have to give the chances to someone else to at least make sure that they can be effective from those set pieces.
Hardrock will be looking for their first win at Rufaro Stadium this season. This is the third time they'll be making an outing here at this great stadium that has so many memories and so many good games. Has birthed a lot of legends, but Hardrock, since their inception into the Casablanca Premier League, they've come here on 2 times, and on 2 occasions they've lost by similar margins. At 2-0 to Caps United. And of course, this afternoon they'll be looking to just turn their fortunes, as they'll be looking for their first win at Rufaro Stadium. And just because you carry that history, sometimes you play with a lot of pressure of not wanting to leave Rufaro Stadium in Harare with a negative result, having played 2 times already and conceding 4 goals in 2 games. Meliswan Ndlovu receiving that crossfield pass back to his captain. Ndlovu, and sends it forward to Simelane. Simelane would like to beat his man, and he has done that. Will cross into the box, but no one making an effort to just stuck a leg and make it count. Majarira losing the ball. A good run from the left, versatile Sambula Simelane. Now Dube Playing through Washington Awaya. But good clearance from the goalkeeper. Good awareness and leaving his lines to come in clear.
Yeah, at the end, good for Herentals. 2 players down now. I think the referee will be blowing the whistle to stop the play. But Takarinda Tinotenda Ishe watching the play, running off his goal line to come and clear. But you can see how effective Simelani has been so far for Hardrock. And unfortunately, it does look like he's the one injured on the ground, as well as another Herentals player. I'm not quite sure who that one is. But now taking control of the game, Hardrock, especially on this left flank with Simelani. Both players look like they will be good to continue. And it will be Chama for Herentals. And also Polani Glovu, that is for Hardrock. Gerard Takwara will be key as well for Hardrock, as we're just seeing that highlight. Good passing. Dube with a deft pass trying to find Navaya, and the goalkeeper was faced to the ball.
A good awareness as he managed to keep the man with 11 goals so far. The joint top scorer.
But quite dangerous the way he went through the door, the goalkeeper, coming in with his legs first, not going with the hands. Being able to keep him a little bit quiet so far.
So Washington now joins under the safe list of Kama Billiot and Frank Agiaman as the only players who've managed to go past 10 goals, 11 for him and Kama Billiot and Frank Agiaman as well. Now Prince Dube charging forward. Ball played back to him. Gerard Takwara. Lennox Mcheto. Now Prince Dube. And they'll try again, chance. Hits the crossbar. And it's a goal for Hardrock. They have opened the scoring. And that first attempt by Donald Mdadi rattled the crossbar, but was enough to cross the line and give the visiting team the much needed goal here in under 23 minutes.
Yeah, just as we were talking about how Herentals had to watch those dangerous players that they have on that time around, quite clinical they are, Hardrock. And you can just see here, trying to make mark. And then there was a layoff to Dube with a lovely cut back to Mudadi. Wonderful strike, hitting the crossbar but bouncing over the line. Navaya was just there to make sure. But a lovely run from Dube. Lovely strike from Mudadi into the back of the net after Navaya made sure, but it was already a goal, and that will be Mudadi's goal. Wonderful start now for Hardrock.
Oh, there was nothing the crossbar was going to do to deny that venomous strike from Donald Mudadi. He did attack it with so much precision, bit the goalkeeper, rattled on the crossbar, and just inches inside the goal line. Did bounce back, and remember, we have seen goals on the international stage before goal line technology was introduced. And who can forget Germany and England in that World Cup? But what a good start from Hardrock.
Yeah, lovely start. I think that will definitely also wake up Herentals a little bit. I think they were just a little bit too lenient in terms of how careless they were in possession. As we just see them now pushing up forward, knowing exactly that the game is on. I'm probably going to be having more problems at the back there. Herentals, they have to really up their game. And I think, well, if it wasn't that we actually saw Navaya going on to finish it, it could have been problematic because there would be an issue to rectify whether it crossed the line or not. But that time around, it had crossed the line.
Well, good goal together. Sometimes if you're not sure, you just have to hit them with so much power. And that way you're guaranteed that it's going to get into the back of the net.
Yeah, now pushing forward a little bit at Herentals after that goal. I think we'll probably seeing also Ralph Kaundera coming into the box. Yeah, just pushing forward now, realizing that they have to get themselves back in the game.
Moringai clears. Prince Chama is trying to play further wide. Mudadi was trying to tee up Washington Avayo, was already applying his afterbanners, but it was a misplaced pass that went behind the front man. Now Eric Dombo trying to play Wilson Chimbetu, who has to beat Nelis with Lamini first. And he has tried. No penalty. It's the call from Lawrence Simone. The goal kick is the initial call.
Yeah, we haven't really seen much of the likes of Wilmo Chimbetu. Innocent Benz as well. Almost like a passenger in that you'd wonder if they would think about a change at an half-time break and probably bring some more pace into the game, which is probably going to be needed.
Eric Dombo clearing from further up the pitch. Now Linux Mcheto. Oh, good fit from Linux. But Eric Dombo was just skipping his body on him. Body checked him and he tumbled to the ground. Marshall Gawaza, their trusted right back, has been forever present this season for Hardrock, barely missing a game and barely putting a foot wrong. He does do everything by the book. Prince Jimmy finds Tolani Ndlovu. Played out wide to Simelani, who likes cutting inside many times than once, being teed up by Gerard Takwara. And it's a foul on the edge of the box. Dangerous play. Flirting with danger. Herentals forgetting that this team has a lot of heavy hitters and heavy shooters.
Yeah, nothing they could have done about that Simelani run than to bring him down. Good combination play from Takwara as well to Simelani, now cutting inside. Quite a dangerous player he is. What an impact he has had on Hardrock seasons. Now they have a free kick in a very decent position. We'll be looking at the takers and we'll be putting their hands up to check this one. A very good position it is.
So now Donald Muradi has left the spot where the free kick is, and Nelis with Lamini is going to be one of the two players together with Tolani Ndlovu to be taking charge of this one. Now making a decoy ride, trying to curl it up, looking for top bins, but disappointing attempt from Nelis with Lamini. Now Wilson. Prince Chama winning a foul when you thought it was going to be going the other way. It has gone in the way of the Herentals.
Yeah, a poor free kick that time around from Hardrock. Probably just trying to be a little bit too precise and not getting the adequate power to get it over the wall as well.
Poor attempted goal from Herentals. They're not getting in these chances into the final third, and you'd be expecting something better the moment they do find themselves playing in opposition territory. Eric Dombo trying to find the Chisi who had made the run forward. Now Milton Chimedza will be looking for support. Looks like he wants to go at it alone. Does so much well to keep the ball in play. Now Chisi. Oh, blessing Majarida, not finding the good connection to just direct his head to where he wants to put the ball into the back of the net. But good moments coming from Herentals looking for that response.
Yeah, definitely Mucheto ending up actually putting it out for a corner kick. A very decent cross into the box, causing problems for the defenders that time around. Picking up their game a little bit, the Rangers, they have to make the set pieces pay.
So now corner kick comes in, floats. But Martin Mapisa does so much well to have his hands on the ball. And it's just been bundled over by Ralph Kondere as he was trying to play it quick. There's no card from Lawrence Mondi after Martin Mapisa had been impeded.
Yeah, a little bit tactical there from Kondere, trying to stop Mapisa from taking it quickly. I just think they have to have a little bit much more hunger for the ball. Rangers in the box. They've been getting in good areas, putting in decent crosses. They've just not been showing up.
Tinashe Puma to Ralph Kawandera. Good with his feet, trying to play Innocent Benza. Was not aware that the pass was supposed to get to him. A loose pass from Donato Mdadi. He was expecting a run behind the defenders from Similani. 31 minutes have been played here at Rufaro Stadium for matchday number 22. And the Celestino Benza looking into the proceedings as his team is trailing by a goal to nil. He did promise that they were going to be playing as a solid unit defensively. And since they're the team at home, they're going to be making it difficult for Hardrock. But so far, the reading on the scoreboard hasn't really translated to his thoughts before the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've not been able to utilize the few chances that they've had. And also, if you look at the previous game that they lost 4-1, probably a little bit better this afternoon. But it's one of the teams that has been the surprise package of the season. Probably providing us with the thrillers that we've been witnessing here at Rufaro Stadium. So you can never rule them out. That is the Herentals.
Kevin Kaindu is talking about how you just find Herentals in the top 3 or top 4. They don't even announce that we are here. And he says such a team is one team that you need to be wary of.
They're just quite effective, aren't they? The combinations when they get going. And each and every time, each and every season, no one really takes them seriously. And this time around, they have been very good. And I was just saying, probably falling off a little bit now, sitting 6th on the log table. But they have been brilliant. Another very good season from the students.
Now Donato Mdadi trying to play provider this time with the outside of the boot. Not sure if he was going for the far corner or he was just trying to make the ball land in the path of Washington Navaya.
Yeah, just apologizing to Navaya rather than Mdadi. I think he wanted to lay it off for him with the outside of the foot. Probably just putting too much on it the time around. But he has been very impressive as well with the right foot. Definitely looking for Navaya. And that time around, it doesn't really work out the way they wanted to. But those are the dangerous combinations that they have up front.
Prince Dube showing why Hardrock got the services. Now Nelisco Flamin is still ongoing, and I think he's going to be getting a first yellow card off the game. He was already losing that speed contest. Nelisco Flamin was going on his paces, and there was nothing Brighton Majorera could have done.
Yeah, almost manhandling him that time around, taking one for the team. They tried it twice, and that time around, pulling both his hands on him. And a well-deserved yellow card that time around. No questions about that one. But a dangerous run again. And he knew exactly that he couldn't let him get into the box.
So now to float one into the box, but dives straight into the hands of Tunotenda Ishitakarinda. Mdadi covering each and every blade of grass here at Rufaro Stadium in under 35 minutes. Involving himself in everything that is good for Hardrock. The two signings finding each other calmly. It's just this chemistry between Prince Dube and Gerard Takwara. Maybe you can call it an international connection.
Lovely to see the combinations. Definitely linking up well. Takwara now pushing into the midfield. Also quite effective with his passing.
Now Milton Chimeta playing it to Innocent Benza, who carelessly loses the ball, much to the dismay of the Herentals fans and his teammates.
Yeah, it has to be said, he's not coping well with the pace of the game tonight. Almost a passenger in that area. And when you have possession in those key areas, you can't be actually giving it away like that, unfortunately.
I mean, he has always been a passenger. Sometimes it's visible, sometimes it's not. But in a game of high intensity such as this one, you can clearly see where they are lurking in terms of the numbers, Herentals. And especially if you're trying to look for an equalizer and going forward, there's probably one man you don't want to give the ball.
Probably also have to think of it with how Portugal and Ronaldo were playing in those last games.
Of course.
I think it is the intensity of this game. You can definitely see that they need more pace, more accuracy.
Hardrock now knocking it around comfortably. They have indeed imposed themselves into the game now. Prince Dube unmarked. Being teed up by Tola Daddy. His first touch let him in. Now Sambula Selemani. And she's off the upright. Could not direct his shot between the sticks. The danger man from Eswatini, Sambulo Simelane. Always good on his day.
Yeah, Dube just losing it, but picking up it was Simelane. Went into cutting inside and to take a strike. Unfortunately, that time around, just missing. Very impressed with them as well in this face-off, Simelane. You can't even really pick how they've been setting up going front as well. Just pushing forward, almost looking like a 3-5 in the middle as well. Takwara coming through.
Going forward, it's going to be an intense battle for who gets the nod in midfield. Remember, they do have the services of Menashe Bamara. And now with Prince Dube also coming into the fold and the number of signings they've made, it's going to be a healthy competition of who starts and who doesn't, or who comes on as a substitute. But when quality is such at a scale like this, you definitely don't want to put a foot wrong.
Yeah, quite two opposites that you have in this game tonight. You know, Prince Dube was electric with his pace, and then you have Benza on the other hand. No matchup between those two as well. And now Hardrock will have much more control of the game. And I think talking about the services of the kind of players that they've been able to get, you can see that even if they don't win the championship this season, they really want to go for it next season as well.
Well, it's been a norm that every new team that comes into the PSA to play top flight football always wants to win it on first attempt. We've seen Moors try to do it, but then falling short in the second half of the season. And another debutant, Scotland, going on to win it. There was also hope coming in from Midlands as to whether Hardrock were going to win it on the first nod. Remember, there's still 12 games to play. Maybe, just maybe, they can surpass the team from Mapuku and win it on first attempt.
Yeah, quite an interesting end of the season coming up with only 12 games left. You just don't see in Scotland giving it away. They've been impressive themselves, just as good as Hardrock have been.
Martina Shimpuma, the defender, charging forward. But from defender to defender, Tinotenda Moringai coming in clutch at the last time, forcing a corner. But he's happy that it turned out to be a corner because Mpuma was coming in quite strongly.
Yeah, good one that time around, as you just seeing that goal definitely bouncing over the line. Navai just making sure that it was, but good play from the Herentals.
Prince Dube turning from a forward into a defender, doing everything that he can. Chimbetu again. Now shot from distance. Mapisa caught into action. And Ralph Kawandera thought he had added to his tally, but he was way offside, and probably there was a hand to the short as well. But these are the areas you're always expecting him to find. Ralph Kawandera.
Yeah, Mapisa that time around. Good strike from range. The goalkeeper wasn't able to do with it first time around, and definitely a hand from Ralph Kawandera. Unfortunately, as he was trying to bundle it in. Quite poor goalkeeping for Mapisa. Pushing it into the path of Kawandera. That could have been a good equalizer towards the end of the first half.
Sambulo Simelane finding the fit of Prince Dube. was always happy to oblige when he's tasked to run. Now another cross into the box. Washington Navai was just lurking behind, waiting for the ball to drop to him. But I guess he was well positioned offside than he was onside.
Yeah, quite dangerous defending from Herentals because they're leaving Navaya and counting on themselves getting to the ball face. And if the delivery was a little bit better, then Navaya could have had a free hit at that time around. It hasn't been the best of the first half for Herentals, but there was nothing that Chakarinda Tindaisha could have done about that strike from Udadi. They would want to go back into the dressing room at halftime, at least at 1-0 or even 11-8 at 1-0. You definitely don't want to concede another one just a few minutes into the break.
So 3 minutes of normal regulation time left in this half, as we have seen 42 minutes go by. With Donald Madadi finding the back of the net in the 23rd minute for the team that has traveled all the way from Kwekwe. Now Sambulo Simelani, a loose pass intercepted by Milton Chimedze. Another misplaced pass from their right back, Prince Chama. Now Nelis with Lamini being caught into action, and good defending from his opposite number, Brighton Majarira. And Derek Dombo just forced out of play, but the boys is still in their possession. And will marvel as they'll start to try to restart. Mpuma looking for Dombo. Too much for him. Notable omissions for Herentals this afternoon. You talk of Drimalieto. I mean, that has done so much well, and you also look into Piri Blessings also on the bench. Can cause all sorts of problems. And Tinashe Mazamba and you'd be expecting such players to start, but the absence could be the reason why it's a little bit of a difficult start into this game against Hardrock.
Yeah, definitely. I think those are the changes that we'll be expecting going into the second half. They haven't actually been able to get going, especially from the midfield area. And they do have a lot of players there just staying behind, allowing Hardrock to have much of the space and control in the game. I mean, we can't mention Benza all the time, but unfortunately it is particular because it has everything to do with the approach that Hardrock Herentals have been taking, because they look like they're a man shot. He definitely can't keep up with the pressing himself. He doesn't have the legs anymore. So when you're approaching a game like this, you have to compensate for that difference, and they've just not been able to do that.
Some of the changes we'll be expecting to see the second half in regards to how Herentals can try to keep themselves into the game. Currently on position number 6. Played the better part of the first half of the season on position number 1. But as the big team started coming into play, and remember, Hardrock also coming from a midweek fixture, that is the game they were completing against Dynamos from Matchday number 14, that abandoned game. So confirmation of added time here is 3 minutes, and after that we go into the half-time break. But all it needed was 14 minutes for a decision to be made, and that decision really pushed Herentals out of the top 5, and Dynamos found themselves comfortably back in the top 5, but didn't change the position for Hardrock either.
Yeah, quite implicating that one. After the disciplinary hearing, no, there was a foot definitely on his ankle, Madadi. Quite dangerous play there. Happy to see him up as well, to be able to continue, and a yellow card, quite deserving for Milton Chimedze that time around. Dangerous play. But you were just talking about that game, only 14 minutes to decided under closed doors. A game that ended up in a very disturbing scene, being able to be won by Dynamos in those last few 14 minutes. quite glad to see that process being done before the end of season.
Well, ever since that incident, we have seen good games being played. Mudadi taking a shot from a distance, but Takarinda decides to punch it away. So 1 minute of the 3 that has been added has already gone by. Wotan Chimedza plays it back to his defender. Now Sambulo, Simelani, Washington Avaya, Chirat Takwara, Mudadi wants everything to go through him, and he's been doing a good job of playing conductor Donald Mudadi. Still in their possession, Hardrock. Now Derek Dombo will try to go forward after that interception. The ball that was going to Prince Dube. And offside is the initial call. They thought they were making ground going forward. It has been difficult to do so. But the moment they thought they were breaking ground, they have flagged offside.
Yeah, I think there was a good call from the first assistant. I think they were just coming from an offside position that time around. Now looking to play the long balls much more Herentals than they actually usually do. Because it has just not been going for them, especially with the likes of Chakara for Hardrock in that midfield, being able to anchor it, giving much more time and space and probably possession also to Hardrock.
Ralph Cohen holding on to the ball in this last seconds of this first half. And that might as well be the confirmation that we have seen enough football. And there's Lawrence Monde just looking at it as a stopwatch.
Yeah, that was just all you have to know about on the first half for Herentals with that loose pass there. Without pressure, just playing it out of the field of play.
Oh, good feet from Milton Chimedza. Still holding on to the ball and throwing it in for Eric Nombo. But Martin Mapisa came out in time to save it. And with that last bit of play from Herentals, Lawrence Monde has seen enough. And we are now going for half-time. The visiting team in green and yellow goes into the half-time break leading by a goal to nil. Not so much chances created from the home team. They've had decent chances charging forward, but their display of football in the final third hasn't been pleasing altogether. But that's it, 45 minutes plus 3 minutes will take us into the half-time break. So much leaves to be desired from these two teams. But your thoughts going into the half-time break?
Yeah, poor turn-up from Herentals, to be honest. Hardrock have had better possession, better control of the game. A wonderful goal from Daddy. I think they would want to add more coming into the second half, but Herentals have shown some light with a little bit of chances going forward, but they definitely have to make some changes, I think. I think they need more pace into the game. They have to match the pace that Hardrock have been showing up front as well.
So in a few moments, we're going to be switching over to pitch side, where there's Charles Mabika together with Joseph Nkani and Spencer Nyamazao to give us the halftime analysis. We are also going to be coming back, and after that, we continue with the second 45 minutes. So for now, please do not go anywhere.
Half time, yes, here at Rufaro Stadium, Kumpiles, yes, Hardrock, the visitors leading there by 1-0. The Dawn, Donald Modadi finishing off that rebound after Mugaddafi had done all the work from the right. You saw that one. But Herentals could have got that equalizer, only that Wilmot Chimbetu's effort was rightly ruled by referee Lawrence Monde for offside. Oh, earlier on I had said that Wilmot Chimbetu is the son of Trison. Fiwa Muningina. What tries on Timbetu? Their dead is nice on Timbetu, but it's all, in the blood. So his effort ruled for offside. 1-0 then to the good for the visitors, the Kasongo Golden Boys. Jose and Sparrow are still here with me. A very entertaining first half, I must say, Jose.
Yes, I think for the first 10-15 minutes of the game, for me it was a bit scrappy. The two teams were still trying to exert themselves in the game, but thereafter we saw Hardrock finding their feet and controlling the tempo of the game. And I think Hardrock have played the better football in the first half because they've been finding each other, they've been exchanging passes, and I think they've fully utilized their right wing, where we saw Gaddafi, Prince Dube, doing his thing. I think it's been left unmarked, unattended for most of the time. So we've seen him bringing in more and coming with more runs and even more crosses. Look at that. Yeah. That's the first time that it was a shot that was taken. Oh, it was an earlier attempt. A shot from range. But we're talking about the Gaddafi factor from the right wing, where they've caused more damage, that they've made more headway into the host team Herentals half through the right channel.
Oh, they have, and Tino Takarinda has been the busier of the two. Although, yes, Martin Mapisa, the former Warriors goalkeeper, has been busy a little somewhat, but Tino Tenda Ishe, that's Takarinda in goal for Herentals, has been the busier of the two, Sparrow.
Yeah, I think he's been busy, especially on the right flank where Prince Dube is playing, as well as Lamini there, doing a great job of getting the ball across the face of goal, where they're looking for Washington Navaya as well as Selemani. I think for Hardrock, the right side is really working well, and I think Mpuma has had a tough afternoon, especially dealing with Prince Dube as well as Lamini. Ended up picking up a yellow card after he was left for dead, and I think for Herentals, I also believe they also started very well. They had a good momentum in the first half where they were exchanging a lot of passes, but it's just that the finishing ball in the attacking third is not coming through, where Blessing Majarira is a lone figure. Of course, Innocent IB is just playing behind him, but he's not getting enough balls from the midfielders.
Yes, so it's still game on because we've seen Herentals, the students, before, and it's usually in the second half. Yes, Jose, as we see that action once again.
Yes, we're saying that the right channel, I think, has been the outlet for Hardrock, the visitors, which is the channel that actually gave them the ball. If you look at Prince Dube, made a fine run the right channel, and then he sent in a cross for Navaya. Navaya went for an attempted goal. Look at that cross there.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that was the Don. That was the earlier chance by the Don. Yeah. Same pattern. Prince Dube flatting in, inviting crosses from the right, and then the Don. They had a proper connection, but of course he just didn't find the right direction to beat the goalkeeper there. But the same script has been playing out all over again. The Herentals are having to attend to the left back, the right wing for Hardrock, which has been causing them many problems.
I don't know what uncle that Celestino Benza can do to neutralize Gaddafi because he has been causing all sorts of problems. But like I was saying, we've seen Herentals come back in the second half. This is where they really switch on to gear. And, they've got Tino Tenda Benza still on the bench, still not fully fit, and they're bringing him up. They're bringing him back into the game gradually. So I'm just wondering whether Celestino Benza, his uncle, will call him up to do action in the second half. But Sparrow, like I said, the students are not yet dead and buried.
No, they're not yet dead and buried. As it is, it's still game on. It's 1-0 and it's still game on. They could have scored that chance with Ralph Condon. Unfortunately, he was flagged for offside. A good sweet cross there from Chopper, and Ralph Condon was there to pounce, and I think the lineman correctly called it offside.
It was actually the registrar from the cross from Wilmore Chimbetu.
Yes, that just goes to show they're still very much in that chance we're talking about.
Yes.
That was flagged offside. But I must say, Herentals are still very much in the game, and they just need to continue pushing forward and improve on working on the final ball in the attacking third. I think guys like Milton Chimedza as well as Ralph Condra need to also push up front to support the Blessing Majarira, who's a lone figure up front. We're likely to see maybe a substitute at halftime or after 10 minutes from Celestina, just to give IB a rest and bring in a fresh pair of legs. That can also cause problems for Hardrock. And I think, like you rightfully said, they are very much in this game.
Oh, they're still very much in this game, and I can tell you that elsewhere there's been a goal from one venue at Ngoni Stadium. Dinamo Dimbare have taken the lead over the Panthers. Moors, Leroy Mafunga getting the opener there for Dimbare. There hasn't been anything from Wazanai Stadium where the Sporting Eagles, Agama, are taking on the Sugar Boys. Still goalless, but here, as you are joining us, well, you must have joined us before, but Murukupi, if you're just joining us now, because we are here in Mbiles, and it's Herentals 0, Hardrock 1. And I'm just wondering right now, let me give Jose the thinking cap, not of Liverpool Football Club, Iowa. Let me give him the thinking cap of Celestino Benza, the home team. What do you think he should do now?
Yeah, well, I think Celestino Benza may want to attend to his midfield, which I think that's where Hardrock have had their dominance and creative play coming from. So I think Celestino Benza may want to attend to the midfield and making sure that his players have control of the midfield exchanges, so that when they release balls up front, they have something to work with. But at the moment, I think they've just been overrun from the midfield areas, which I think is something that Celestino Benza has to work on. Because you can't expect a player like Ralph Kaundra roving up and down, and that is one player who's been giving you the goals. So you want to make sure that he's well serviced with the clean balls. And look at how Ralph Kaundra plays when he ventures into the box. I think he's one of the most cleverest players in the league who knows how to sneak into the box. If you look at the goal that he scored from, he was flagged offside. But ask yourself, where was he coming from? You see, so I think Celestino Benza may then want to look at that goal there.
Yeah, the one.
Yeah,
yes,
that's Navaya
exactly.
taking in a shot that crashed against the upright.
And then the Don there just coming in to finish it off, to make it 1-0.
Yes.
But the Rentals were not lucky themselves, because the registrar Ralph Kaundera's effort was ruled for offside.
Yeah, so that's another thing, area where Celestino Benza has to look into to shut down the ball supply to Prince Dube. And then he'll probably find himself coming back into the game. A goal for Herentals, I think, will be something that can enlighten this game. It can probably take us another notch higher in terms of the exchanges in this particular fixture.
Yes, we are waiting to see what happens. And then I'm going to ask Sparrow, give him the thinking cap, not of Carrick Bo. Michael Carrick Bo. Give him the thinking cap of Pastor KK, Kelvin Kayindu. As we take in more.
Looking at the stats there, I mean, the only important stat there is the 1-0 where Hardrock are leading. And I think they've also dominated the game as shown by the stats there. And of course, for KK, I think coming into the second half, I think he may want to maintain the same team. I think he needs to work on the left flank where there is Selemani. I think they have not really clicked. They have not really got enough of balls coming from this left side. I think the right side has been working well with Prince Dube having a fantastic outing on the right flank. So I think maybe they need to alternate flanks with Selemani, the wide left midfielder. I think they need to just exchange passes. I think Gerald Takwara has also done very well in terms of playing in the midfield.
Slow start coming to Hardrock, hasn't he?
He has had a slow start, and I think he's a bit out of weight. Maybe with time, I think gradually, the more he gets the minutes, I think he'll get in form and get in shape. I think he just needs to continue working on his fitness, and I think he's one good addition that will help Hardrock.
Oh, definitely Gerald Takwara, Superman. Yes, once he gets into the groove, we all know what he can do. So what will happen? Remember the reverse fixture? Herentals were hammered 4-1 by Hardrock. Will it be the same here? Well, the Herental supporters probably think not. Oh, and one thing I can tell you, a refreshing side that we saw, we don't have ball boys here today. We have ball girls. Yes, the girls doing a splendid job just as well as the boys. So, the ball girls, Jose, A refreshing side here. The ball girls, of course, from Herentals.
It is a refreshing side, and I think it's also a reflection of how much emphasis Herentals have put into the girl child. Remember, they are Herentals queens. It's also another team that is also dominating in the female league.
Yep.
So I think we need to recognize that and give kudos to Herentals, the institution, of course, led by IB9, in terms of how much investment they've put into football as an institution. I think it's something that we need to acknowledge and also recognize. If there's an award, I think we may need to give it to Herentals in that regard.
That's
because
right.
the girl child, they've definitely promoted here.
That's right. Okay. So, what happens in the second half? Well, sit back, relax, because as always, we make it fun for you and for you and for you. We are going back to rejoin Tindo, Tendai Sibanda, and Makela Maxwell Mandizitsa. We'll be talking to you at the end of the 90.
Welcome back to the second 45. As the players are making their way out of the dressing rooms. It was quite the first 45 minutes, not so much in terms of chances created, but as expected, probably Hardrock came out the team on top, courtesy of a goal that came from Donald Mdadi, the 23rd minute. But as you're coming back for the second half, a lot of changes are going to be made, and we're going to be talking about what needs to be changed from either side. If Hardrock wants to maintain their lead and go for more, and if Herentals want to look for an equalizer, what is it that they need to change?
Yeah, it has been a poor showing in the first half tonight. I think they really want to match up the pace that Hardrock have put on play, and also just make sure that they're a little bit much more accurate and careful in position, as you're just saying, one of those changes as well. I think that will be quite key with Mayembe Prince coming in for Innocent Benza, an expected change that we were talking about just before the break. I think that would definitely put more pace to their game, and this is exactly where they were lacking in that first half.
So now the first change of the game has been made by Herentals as Innocent Benza leaves the field of play and has been replaced by another fast and dynamic forward, that is Prince Mayembe. And with that, Herentals will take us underway for the second 45 minutes. Scoreline still reads 1-0, courtesy of a goal from Donald Mdadi. Hardrock lead this one going into the second half. Milton Chimbetu being tumbled to the ground.
Yeah, I think in all fairness tonight, that change probably Benza should have not even have started this game, to be honest. And Celestino Benza had to make that change at the break, allow Prince Mayembe to come in and aid a little bit much more to Herentals' game.
So Wilson Chimbetu will play to Brighton Majarira, trying to find Prince Mayembe, who has just been introduced. Tinashe Mpuma, a good centre back, trying to play orchestrator in the middle of the park, with Ralph Kawandra having drifted a little bit forward. So there were no changes from Hardrock, the leading team. And even a win this afternoon won't change their position on the log table. What would just do it minimize the gap between them and the log leaders. An effort that does not do anything to cause problems. But we're talking from 39 points coming into this game, being the difference that they have with Scotland at 49. And after this, it's just going to be a 7-point difference.
Yeah, they really will be watching that gap, won't they be, in this last 12 games. Any slip up from Scotland, they would want to capitalize on it. But you have to win games like this. You won the first one by 4 goals to nil. Why not win the second one?
So now charging forward, Milton Chimedza, beaten by Martin Mapisa, who cleared his lines. Could not just wait and see the darting run made by the forward as he was trying to attack the back of the net. Good run from Herentals, but good goalkeeping from Martin Mapisa.
Yeah, what a chance for Herentals early into the second half. A golden opportunity, to be honest. Threw on goal with the goalkeeper to beat, and he couldn't do it. But already you can see the chances and the change that they have made, the impact of it now. Now winning a corner kick, but they should have been level now with that golden opportunity. Finding the space, the race space in between the defenders. Milton Chimedza.
So now trying to take the first corner kick off the second half. And Chama to take floats one in. Now Chimpetu could not just direct it between the ground and the crossbar. But good start in just under 3 minutes since the restart of the second half.
Yeah, must have been a good halftime talk from Celestino Chibenza in that dressing room to give his players a lift. We just say that corner kick, Mapisa with a hand on it, but first thoughts and the second one, a wonderful strike. I think it really did also brush that post as well. Probably a little bit of a deflection on its way through as well, but good from the Rangers.
Wilson Chimbeti, the defender, charging forward. Milton Chimedza. And a very wayward, lacking any sort of direction from Chisi. I think the rest of the team is disappointed as much as he is. Young fans dancing to the tunes. Maybe it's clear to tell which side they are supporting.
Definitely dancing to the tune of the band, which has brought some life into this game. Rangers as well coming to life into the second half. The 2 decent opportunities to level the game. And exactly you can see where Mayembe went through, where Benza was playing. And those Hardrock ended up pushing a little bit forward. And that will give them a little bit of an edge going forward. That is the Rangers.
Ralph Kawandera. Now in the middle of the park, playing at outfield. To where Prince Chama is operating. Finding more time and more space in the final third. And he does get a corner kick after that probably disappointing attempt of a cross.
Yeah, good again from Herentals. Chimedza getting into the mix of things now. And they have another opportunity here with a corner kick.
Doesn't beat the first man. Chimbetu trying to go for the spectacular. Seems to be the man who gets the second balls. Now Neliso Dlamini being dropped to the ground. Now with 3v1. Trying to hit it first time, and a poor attempt from Sambulo Simelani. Now there's a lot that he could have done with that 3-man counter charge. Could have delayed his run. Prince Dube was there on his flank as well, but probably decided to place it.
Yeah, poor at the end. He couldn't get the power that he needed, and Kaendo is up on his feet. He knows exactly that it's game on. But just there on the other end, Rangers losing possession in a crucial area. And they tried to stop him, they couldn't. The counter went on, Mudadi in possession, laying it off nicely to Simelani, who unfortunately couldn't get his angles right.
No, I think Donald Mudadi was quick to release that one. especially when you have your 3v1 advantage. You just want to delay that pass, keep the defender guessing, lure him one side, opening up the other side, and then perfectly play it.
Yeah, Simelane almost getting it too early, as you would have flagged it a little bit later.
Now coming in, now Washington have found offside. And they are now starting to play with a little bit of comfort going forward, especially on the counter charges. The quick breaks and the counter attacks coming in more frequently for Hardrock.
Yeah, Herentals also pushing forward much more men now because of that substitution that they have made. It has to be said, because now Kawandera can also push forward.
Now finding Milton Chimedza. He has an opportunity to flagged offside. At the moment he was opening up his body, you definitely know he was trying to curl it into the top corner.
Yeah,
but the flag was up before we even finished commenting on it.
Yeah, definitely. He was getting in some good spaces, teammates, that we have always said, but now leaving gaps now for Hardrock to attack.
Now Prince Dube, marked quite thoroughly by Wilson Chimbetu, who seems to be doing both duties quite well, going forward and tracking back. Blessing Majarira trying to flick it. Chimedza.
Yeah, now almost end to end this game tonight. You can see how much space is being forward now by Hardrock on the counter because of the Rangers pushing men forward. Almost having over 6 players up front.
Now Eric Dombo floating one into the box, but too much for Herentals to attack from the far post, or the back post rather. Mapise with a good delivery. That'll find Sambulo Simelane. Oh, good clearing of the lines. Now Donald Mdadi with so much time and ample space. Surprised why he went for it first time. When he could have just waited for the ball to bounce and control it and place it wherever he wanted to place it.
He had more time than he thought. As you just see Simelane here into the box. I think a little bit of a collision with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper didn't get up at that time, and Mudadi taking it first time. I thought he could have taken control of it and found the back of the net in an empty net. He only had to be a little bit much more patient and almost a little bit much more fair, because Takarinda Tinotenda Ishe wasn't nowhere to be found on the goal line. But what a wonderful throw from Mapisa straight to Simelane.
Two happy fans there.
Enjoying themselves, enjoying the game as well. Lovely to see.
Now Herentals are being attacked left, right and centre. The counter charges are catching them off unaware. And it's only a matter of time. If Hardrock keep knocking in this manner, they are going to be finding the back of the net for the second goal. But now looking into Takarinda's, that earlier collision together with Sambulo Simelane. Oh, there was a boot on his shin probably.
Yeah, definitely. Also got a little bit of the ball. And the goalkeeper was left with some pain there. Good to see him up on his feet. He had to come off his line. He couldn't let Simelane pick and choose a pass. And the bench is also up and warming, and shows you the Rangers want to get back into this game as early as they can into the second half.
So the Herentals goalkeeper, the man between the sticks, is back up on his feet after that collision, that coming together with Sambulo Simelane. But Donald Mdadi, with the experience and the quality, he knows he could have done better. The goalkeeper or not on the line. Prince Dube finding Washington Avaya. Brighton Majarira is quick to the task to keep the big talisman away from danger.
Very good defending from Majera. They also winning the throw in. I think those are the key moments, key players that they have to keep an eye on, because they've pushed so many men forward. The Rangers, Navaya, Mudadi, Simelane as well, will be able to get those spaces.
Chris Mayembe flicking it to Eric Dombo. Mutin Chumedza coming into life now. Prince Mayembe. And he wins his team a free kick after Gavaza brought him to the ground. Open play now. Both teams are playing high-octane football. One moment it's going left, the other moment it's going right.
Yeah, I think the only problem for the Rangers now is the counter-attack. Trying to get back into the game. You can't forget your defending as well. Quite dangerous, aren't they? Hardrock on the counter, as they're just trying to take the set piece, looking at their positioning, leaving almost 3 men to the task of defending the counter.
So now Prince Sharma will take the dead ball. Sharma going at it alone. Mapisa called into action. Got in swinger. Aiming for the top left corner. And that last moment Mapisa actually saw that the ball was dipping in and kept it out. Good hands, good free kick altogether. It's a corner kick for Herentals. And Chama will take again. But this time it's safe hands from Martin Mapisa.
Yeah, safe hands for the second time. What a free kick, dipping down almost late, and Mapisa had to put a strong hand into it. This is a lovely save from Mapisa on the line. Desperation from him, almost banging into the post as well. Brave goalkeeping from Mapisa that time around. Lovely free kick, dipping late into the goalkeeper. Good technique from Chama that time around.
Mudadi finding Prince Dewey, but Ralph Kawonder tumbles him from behind.
Yeah, I think everyone is keeping an eye on this one, aren't they? I think there was been an injury there. I think that'll be to Prince Dewey. We haven't really seen much of the front three for Hardrock coming into the second half, because the Rangers have been able to get a grip of it. As we were just saying, that incident again, to be probably a foul on his left leg. I think he'll be good to continue.
Now Prince Dewey, the former young African Sports Club player, recently left Tanzania to start playing for Hardrock. Looks like it's a shoulder injury after he was pulled back by Ralph Kawonder. Is also a former Highlanders man. Looking in anticipation on whether Prince Dewey is going to make it up and continue the game.
Yeah, probably looks a little bit much more serious than I thought. But he's getting some attention to that, as you were just saying that goal once more. It was Dube with that lovely assist to Mudadi. Lovely strike from him, the goalkeeper. Nothing he could have done about it. Looking for the crossbar to save him, but it wasn't to be. It was already over the line. Navaya just making sure. And Hardrock fans loved what they saw. And from that moment on, in that first half, it was all Hardrock. Until now in the second, where I think the Rangers have been quite better. I think this injury to Prince Dube, who unfortunately I think has to be stretched off, is going to take away some momentum from Rangers.
Sir Prince Mpumelelo Ndlovu is being stretched off the field of play. Looked to have gone down in pain, holding his shoulder. And hopefully you'd want to see him play, not to go down in his second game for the club since joining.
Yeah, quite unfortunate to see. Hopefully he hasn't dislocated his shoulder or anything serious. He's had a very good impact on the pace, on the power going forward that Hardrock has. I'll definitely miss him.
So Maringai will try to hit it from distance. So much power. But the moment it took a dip, all that momentum was taken away. No, Eric, no. Oh! Calling Mapisa again into action. It's a good contest between the strikers of the ball and the goalkeeper. Making sure that the scoreline remains as is. Not succumbing to this good strikes. And it's Psl Matchday again, charging into the penalty box. And this time he takes a tumble. And Lawrence points to the sport. They've won themselves a penalty. Just after an hour of football plus a minute. And you definitely guarantee that the moment you see Psl Matchday charging from the left flank, he's going to be dancing his way through and causing all sorts of problems. He does want to cut in, and every time he does cut in, you're bound to drop him.
Yeah, always causing problems for the defenders. At one point, it was the Rangers attacking. We were just talking about the impact of the counter here. Simelane, a clear leg drawn in after he cut actually inside there. You can definitely see that a Rangers defender, clear leg on him, and it's a clear penalty, especially from this angle. It was Tawanda Chisi with the outstretching leg to Simelane, and Lawrence had no any other option than to blow for the penalty. I think this is exactly what happens when you're playing upfield and you're trying to get back in the game, and you have the likes of Simelane with the pace, and also good to see that Prince Dube is back in the game.
So now Washington Navaya from 11 meters. Tinotenda Ishetagarinda watches on as the big talisman tries to take his tally for the season to 12. He looks ready. He is ready. Takes a gust. Washington Navaya sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. It was always going to be him. It is him. And the Undertaker, the big forward, takes his tally to 12 and 2 for Hardrock this afternoon.
What a play he is, Navaya. A good penalty that time around. The goalkeeper could only watch it as it went straight into the back of the net. Quite precise from Navaya. And now Hardrock are 2 up. They will be feeling a little bit much more comfortable. But credit has to go to Simelane with that darting run, which led to the penalty. And the referee, Lawrence Zimondi, pointed to the penalty spot after that outdrawn run from Tawanda Chisi. Navaya, he has been a player that has been responsible for all this, much of the success rather, of Hardrock this season. And top player that they have, always very dangerous in front of goal, and with a clinical penalty that time around.
We started the season quite slowly, Washington Navaya, and so many people were asking about his credentials, whether he was a one-time or one-season wonder. But he's proving time and time again that he is a force to be reckoned with. And outside of your picture, it was Prince Dube who's just received the latest yellow card from Lawrence Zimondi.
Yeah, Dube coming from a shoulder injury to a yellow card, but good to see him back in the game. I did think that thought that he was probably going to be substituted, but good to see him up and about, and with a smile on his face. But you can just see here in that fall, foot in between the legs and tripping. And that will be Chimbia Chiwilmo. Good combinations, Dube and Navaya going forward. I think they will be glad to be playing together as well, and also to just have Mudadi, who has always been that supplier, just behind them.
So Sherman wins a throw in. Puma laying it off for him. Puma again. Now Chisi finds Wilson Chimbetu to Eric Dombo, who lets the ball run past him, and it goes out of play. Another corner kick for Herentals. Try to be cheeky with that, playing it short for the incoming Ralph Kondera. We have seen so many of the short corners, some do work. But I mean, if you are trying to find yourself a lifeline, why not go the orthodox way? Ping it in the air and find a header.
Yeah, definitely. But that man in your picture, Matema Pisa, has been wonderful. He hasn't been for Hardrock. If it wasn't for him, there would be a goal for Herentals, but he has been very good.
Prince Dube playing it first time to Washington Avaya. But the interception came in at the right time. Now Eric Dombo. And offside is the call. Blessing Majarira was way ahead of the shoulder of the last man.
Well, they haven't been playing badly, I would say, Herentals going forward as well. But we were just talking about how they should be watching that counter-attack from Hardrock. And it did happen once or twice. And in that moment, Similani, with his pace in the box, the other time around, it was Takarinda Tinoitedeshe who came to rescue Herentals. But that moment, Tawanda Chisi with a foul and the penalty conceded. And now that's just the risk that you have to take when you want to get back in the game. But unfortunately for them, they are 2 goals down now, but they'll still believe that they still have a foot in this one.
Chisi sending it forward. Maringai there to clear it up. So a substitution is going to be made by either side, as Wilfred Manzungu, the 2-goal hero from the last time they played against Caps United, is about to be introduced. Eric Dombo. And no foul from Lawrence Mondi. It almost looked like the whistle was going to be blown. Wilson Chimbetu running in danger area, going exactly where Eric Dombo was trying to avoid. So now, confirmation of the substitutions coming in for either side, as there's movement on the byline from either side for Hardrock. The man who scored the opener, Donald Mdadi, is going to be making way for Wilfred Madzungu, a player who made a name for himself in the Central region last year in Division 1 football. 7 goals to his name so far.
Yeah, what a game that Mdadi has had. Oh, that wonderful goal as well to his name. Good play from him. I think probably a right decision to give Madzungu some minutes in the game. I think the bench will be quite glad and just they congratulating Mdadi for a wonderful performance this afternoon.
So also the captain for Herentals is coming off and has been replaced by Zimondi. So Ralph Kondera being replaced by Clemens Zimondi. And also Sangare Kundai has come on. So that completes the double substitution from Herentals, as they're looking for fresh legs, fresh ideas. Similani. Now Eric Dombo. Wilson Chimbetu trying to play it and dinking it over the defenders. But as Chama was trying to cushion it, there was no one to come and pick it up. Now Nelis with Lamini as Prince Dube and Washington Avaya in the box. Took his time. Now it crossed into the box. Navaya the back post. Chest control for Similani. And just skewed it away from the target as he was trying to hit it first time. No sense of direction in regards to setting it where the target is.
Yeah, with a smile on his face that time around, Similani is changing flanks coming to the right. But look at that chest control from Navaya, laying it down for Simelane. I think Dlamini was a little bit late with the ball because Prince Dube had made another wonderful run, but Navaya actually being able to lay it off for Simelane, just blasting it over that time around.
Oh, Simelane has been fantastic, hasn't he? You find him on every flank, playing on the right, playing on the left, sometimes a little bit central. And that is Innocent Benza, the man who played 45 minutes. And 45 minutes that you don't remember anything.
Yeah, I think you would know that he shouldn't have started that game because of the pace that he has. Now they've made two changes, that is, with Ralph Kongundera coming out in Majarira. I think trying to get more pace into their game. And also Clemens Zimondi and Kundai Sangare, those are the two players that would be taking their positions. I think they still think that they still have a say in it.
So now Hardrock coming in again. And Wilfred Madzingu just being marked by 3 players. Maybe they got the memo that is the man in form so far. So no wonder they are sending 3 players to stop him in his tracks. Elisos Dlamini also making a mistake. But he's done so much well to evade danger. And so much away from his goal, but nervy coming in from him.
Yeah, rescuing the day at the end of the day, Dlamini being able to get it away from his goal. But with those 2 chances you were saying tonight, I think probably should have been made earlier. But still some few minutes left to make an impact in this game. I think Hardrock would want to get a third one. They know if they can get a third one, they'll probably put this game to bed. We know how Herentals will never let you go. You know, keep on fighting. They've always done.
Oh, now Dombo can initiate the counter-attack. Will attack goal. But had footsteps coming in from either side and decided to unleash it quickly. The defenders didn't stop keeping pressure on him. And definitely that prompted this attack when he was looking at a first of goal.
Yeah, unfortunately just losing his balance when you took that shot at the end. But a very good strong run from him. You can see here, keeping close control of the ball, shooting off the challenges, and then unfortunately, just as he was striking it, I think he was a little bit off balance and couldn't direct it towards goal. He has been very good, especially in this left flank for Herentals as well. Quite impactful, the crosses coming into the box. That time around, he wanted just to take it on himself and try to get one goal back for Herentals.
Now Hardrock charging forward again. And too much for Sambulo Simelane. And if there is anything to talk about, Hardrock are playing 3 good strikers up front. You talk of Prince Dube, you talk of Washington Avaya, and the newly introduced Wilfred Madzingu. We talk about keeping pressure and looking for goals from every other side on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. And quite a surprise because Herentals have been not keeping an eye on Simelane and Navaya in that box. Probably the second time, as we're just seeing Simelane being substituted now. But what a game he has had, and an impact as well, winning that penalty for the second goal from Navaya. It's a very good asset that Hardrock have.
A tired figure of Sambulo Simelane leaves the pitch as Makawa replaces him. Chama also replaced by Mazambani. As we have 15 minutes left on the clock of normal regulation time. Now to Nashimpuma. Wilson Chimbetu. What's football without food?
Yeah, I think Celestino Benza has done everything in terms of his substitutions. Trying to get back in the game. If it was not for 2 crucial saves from Mapisa, I think at least they could have had 1 goal in this game, Hardrock. Herentals rather. But Mapisa has been impressive.
Moringai not allowing himself to concede to the attack that Herentals are now bringing. Kevin Yain talking to his assistants on how they will manage the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, if they get a goal, I think that'll be it. But you'd have to remember those games we saw Dynamos versus Herentals, also Caps versus Herentals. I think Herentals have that never die spirit in them.
If Hardrock do win this one, this will be their first win in 2026 at Rufaro Stadium. They lost to Caps United by 2-0. They lost to Scotland by 2-0 again. And in this current stage, they're leading by 2-0. Quite the scoreline that usually marks their visit to Rufaro Stadium.
Yeah, it's one of those seasons where they've been very good at home. Their home ground has been their hunting ground. Not so many favorable results on their away trips as well. But they've been very good in Chawanda. They'll be glad if they can get the 3 points here in Harare as well.
So now then you really introduce substitute knocking the ball around, but moving the ball more than they are moving the opponent. And if anything, you want to be making sure that the opponent loses shape. Maringai clears. Turning defense into attack. Prince Dube was crying for it, just waiting for Matsungu to see him, to spot him. Hardrock being forced to play back. Quite unusual for what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I think Matsungu was not quick to see that pass. I think Prince Dube was in some space there. If he could have picked it up, you could have seen him just taking it back a little bit. I think you can see that the strikers are still eager to get a third. The Rangers will be fighting for each and every blade of grass, for the possession of the ball, with the clock counting down now.
Newton Chimeza just being put back as he thought he was going forward. Chiro Takwaro has gone to the ground. Looks like to be in semantic excruciating pain. The big player, the Warriors International. Ooh, that was a hard tackle. Open stars. Lawrence Moni didn't see him, yet he was in front of him.
Yeah, just in front of the referee. I'm just wondering if the referee was looking at something else, but quite a punishable offense, that one.
Lucky for him that he didn't get into the booking. But unfortunate for Takwara that his pain went unnoticed. Now Washington Awaya teeing it up for Wilfred Matsungu. The ball lands to Prince Dube. Matsungu being quite slow. Now they have an opportunity to go again. And trying to find Polani Ndlovu, and this time he plays it out of the confinements of the pitch. Some of the security detail here at Rufaro Stadium. Majarira to Chimbetu. Tinashe Mpuma misplacing that pass. Dube. It's been exciting to watch Prince Dube. Finds Wilfred Matsungu. Back to Ndlovu. To the skipper, to Notenda Maringai. Hasn't really charged forward because of the position that he's playing as a centre back. Upper body strength being exuded by the two players. And in turn, it's a goal kick. Samuel Makawa just going into the soldier barge with Prashan Majarira.
Yeah, it has turned out to be an interesting contest in the second half. After probably a shallow first half from Rangers, they've tried to pick up their game. They definitely have done that. But it has been actually Hardrock was still on top.
defending attributes that have the Hardrock fans celebrating from Takwara. Now Chimbetu will try to initiate the counter charge again. Open starts, but in turn it goes the way of Herentals.
Yeah, it's been a good game so far for the Hardrock midfield. I think they've been able to get much control of the game. A dangerous foot there, definitely also not going unnoticed, but no yellow card that time around. As we were just saying, some of the fouls and the decision being made by Lawrence Imondi, who has had a very good game, I should say. And the fans, some fans not keeping their eyes on the game, but enjoying the brand, loving the moment. I think it looks like it's going to be 2 out of 2 for Hardrock against the Rangers this season.
We're coming to Rufaro Stadium. Herentals were going to be having a bounce in their step, as the last home game here was against Caps United and they won it by 2-1. And of course you would have thought that maybe against another big team it was going to be the same attitude. Zambani finds Nashim Puma. For a goalkeeper that has been trusted so much, Martin Mapisa has made sure that he repays the trust Kevin Kayendu has given him. Remember, it has been Tonderai Mateaonga for most of the time this season, has been between the sticks, but a solid performance from the goalkeeper here.
Yeah, impressive. I think he has been very good. He has been caught to make some difficult saves, and he has been able to do that, and that's what you want to do if you're trying to impress your manager. You would also want to keep a clean sheet. As we were just saying, that finish from Mudadi, clinical he was to get that first goal for Hardrock, who then also with Navaya went on to aid the second, to the jubilation of their fans, who have been colorful this afternoon and also quite melodious with the band.
Herentals fans looking on in displeasure. They would have wanted the scoreline to be their favour. For a team that hasn't been doing quite so well away, remember their last 4 away games, Hardrock only one win. It was a 2-0 victory against Chicken Inn. Make sure that this game doesn't turn out to be those last games that have been playing. So this makes it the 3rd win in 5 attempts.
Yeah, I think there will be also another late substitution. I think there will be Chuwunga coming in for Milton Chimeza. I'm quite surprised not to see Chuwunga quite earlier. He does punch a little bit of pace in him. I think he could have been an impact player as well.
Now teeing it back. Now, the man you were talking about could have made an impression of the first kick off the ball. And that is Lord Chiwunga. Couldn't find the right amount of power to beat the goalkeeper and to beat the net. But what a first start it would have been for Lord Chiwunga.
Yeah, that could have been quite wonderful for him, just coming in. But you can see exactly what he can do. And I wonder if you had been given much more time, if he could have been making much more impact as well. Hardrock have to keep an eye on him. And that time around, he couldn't get enough pace on the ball. There was a deflection going to Mapisa, which also made it a little bit easier for him to collect it.
So the Hardrock captain has received the latest yellow card to Notenda Muringai. So waiting for the wall to be perfectly sealed by Lawrence Mondi. As Tinashe Mpumi, I would expect, would want to go direct. And this time he doesn't. He hangs it in the air. Another shot from distance. And it's Chiwunga again, who has been in a dangerous area.
Yeah, another good opportunity for Chiwunga. I think it just came to him too quickly, not anticipating the ball to come through past him. And just lunging in with the right foot, not being able to get any direction whatsoever on it.
Washington Avaya being caught offside. And that's the last attempt. Lord Chiwunga was just unmarked.
Yeah, definitely could have done better, Chiwunga. I think that was a good opportunity to at least get a go back, and what an ending we could have had going on into this last minutes of this game. And Mapisa now down. I think the referee will be obliged to implement the rules as we know them so far, how they've been applied at the FIFA World Cup.
Well, sometimes it takes time for the rules on the international stage to go down into a local league. Our new substitutes for Hardrock Football Club. Maybe the message is just not today. Your time will come, surely. Tunderai Mateaonga, the goalkeeper, was just knocking the ball around, as he'll be waiting for that call if he doesn't hear that Martin Mapisa will continue with the game.
Yeah, he's been very good, Mapisa, hasn't he? I think it's quite encouraging when you have that competition between the sticks. You always want to keep it alive and make sure that whoever deserves get the chance. And he's been given his chance, Mapisa, and he has been able to deliver. Still a few minutes to actually make sure that he recalls that clean sheet. But from what we have seen, I think it has been very beautiful from him. Another Hardrock fan probably celebrating the win, thinking that it is done and dusted, but it's never like that in football, as we know.
So 89 minutes have gone by with some seconds and of course some additional time until Lawrence Mondi says we are done for match day number 22. Herentals throw in. Tinashe Mazambani trying to keep pressure. Nelly Sutlamini clears, but it is more height than it is distance. The ball. Puma. Trying to find Eric Dombo, was already going on his paces. And confirmation of the 80 minutes is going to be 7, something that you usually don't see here in our local league. 7 minutes is what is going to be added by the fourth official. An animated figure or picture of Martin Mapisa, Donald Mudadi, Ralph Kawandera. So we're now in borrowed time. A minimum of the added minutes, that is. Washington Avaya. Prince Dewey. Navaya to the right. Now Navaya being given space and time. Winding Wilfred Manzungu. Oh, Prince Dube.
That was a good opportunity at the end for Prince Dube, who thought probably the defender was going to get to it first. I think he could have taken a charge there, Dube, in the box. The Rangers, I think with 7 minutes, would also think that they have been given a lifeline here. But it's only 7 minutes. They also still have to defend at the end. And Prince Dube that time around definitely could have taken a charge. And he probably could have scored a goal here.
Prince Dube not finding the right connection, and Tinashe Mpumi, who does hit them from time to time with such ferocity. Prince Dube arriving in the box in time, on time. But he almost felt like the defender was going to get to the ball before him. And it's almost like a knee-jerk reaction. And he took it first time. And like you said, maybe a touch would have sufficed here.
Yeah, definitely, probably thought that there were also some markers just behind him. And he decided to take it first time. Unfortunately, he couldn't find the right connection that time around. You just see those scores of the battle. What a game it has been. Probably not the similar scoreline from the first one. Simelane, what a player that he is for Hardrock.
Now Washington of Aya. Still going on. Washington of Aya. Tinashe Mpumi intercepts. Now Wilfred Manzungu on the back post. Brings it down. Nellis with Lamini. Crying openly. And we'll go from distance. So the idea was no ball. Lachunga trying to flick it wee. His opposite number was just smacking him, and he thought there was going to be a player in space. Prince Mayembe could have been the player to receive that backheel flick.
Yeah, I think they didn't also see the run of Eric Dombo. I think he was in better space, trying to backheel it to Mayembe. And that's another chance gone.
Prince Mayembe finding Clemens Simondi. Now Brighton Majarira. Defenders launching forward. Ball lopped into the box. And it's a corner kick for Herentals.
Yeah, good last push in the dying minutes. But the Hardrock fans here with their hands high, believing that they've gotten the 3 points. And I think I would want to make another late substitution. That is Hardrock. Just distracting the little momentum that the Rangers have in these last few minutes.
Eric Dombo brings one into the box. Lachunga controls it to the ground. Sangere. Now Lachunga not conceding to this battle. Now wins it, but doesn't beat the first man the cross. Now Hardrock will try to go on the counter. Sangere again. Quick fit. Happy fit. Now they too have an opportunity to find a consolation goal. As already 4 minutes of the 7 have already flown by. Last Nyilenda will be coming on for Prince Dube. Amazing return to this big stadium that is Rufaro Stadium. A performance to remember.
Yeah, he has been good. Prince Dube, he has been able to find those runs as well. He could have kept it off with a goal himself. Unfortunately, he couldn't find the right connection. But can the Rangers at least get a consolation goal here? Very good area here for the free kick.
So Tinashe Mpumi together with Wilson Chimbetu. The two players standing behind the ball. If they beat the wall, they have to beat Mapisa as well. Set going to be going near post or far post. And Wilson Chimbetu having his chance denied by Maitan Mapisa, who punches it away. Good parry in this last minutes. Only a minute left. But of course, Lorenzo Mondi applying the laws you were talking about that we've been seeing on the international stage, allowing the goalkeeper not to be impeded. Sangare will obviously be looking to launch it forward as they are looking for a consolation goal. Zimondi. Eric Dombo. Wilfred Manzungu turns into a defender with about 10 seconds left. Prince Dube in your picture. And with a perfect sum that goes by his performance, with the brass band that has come in support as well. The job that we've come to do is done and dusted. And I think with that, Lawrence Zimondi blows us off for final whistle. Hardrock, the visiting team, wins by 2-0. Donald Mdadi with a crack off a goal. And Washington are taking his goal tally to 12 with a penalty from 11 meters. Herentals came a different side in the second half, but that was not enough to make this Hardrock side switch. You talk of Washington Navaya, Prince Dube, Donald Mdadi. If it's not Enda Mringai in that back line, all have been phenomenal, all have been good, all have been perfect. Herentals still remain 6th, and Hardrock have reduced the deficit from top of the table from 10 points to 7 points. What a game, and what a way to finish match day number 22.
Yeah, what a good game that we've had. Probably slow to the start in the first half, but in the second half picked up some pace. Donadi Mudadi with that first goal in that first half, and then a penalty conceded by Rangers to give Washington Navaya a chance to slot in the second, and he was not making any mistake from there. They tried very hard, Rangers, to come back, but it wasn't to be. Martin Mapisa was wonderful in goal for Hardrock with 2 very good saves to deny any comeback from Rangers, the students. And it's another lesson learned from the students. They lost the first one 4-1 and they're losing the second one by 2-0. Quite encouraging to see the finish that they've had. But Hardrock just had a little bit much more over Rangers, and they were the well-deserved winners this afternoon. And that many in your picks, in particular Navaya, quite clinical and impressive for the Miners.
Oh, it's an impressive outing for match day number 22 for Kevin Kaindu and his troops. They will make the long journey to Kwekwe with happy smiles on their faces. Everything they did want to up and did happen on the field of play. Maybe they would have wanted more goals. They created a bit of the chances at the lion's share of possession. And it's a performance that they are surely going to remember. But with 12 games remaining, what does it look like for Hardrock? Are they still going to fight on? Probably betting on Scotland to drop some points. And for Herentals that had the better part of the season in the top 5, are they going to concede that? But that was all we had for you in the commentary gantry. Now we're going to be switching over to pitch side, where Charles Maybe is going to be standing and talking to us and giving us post-match together as talking to the respective managers.
Oh, that's how it ended. Hardrock doing a double over the students, Herentals. Remember the last time the reverse fixture, they beat them 4-1, and they've come to the capital, Muno Mumbiles, and they've beaten them again. Well, I'm joined now by a visibly disappointed Herentals head coach. We call him Uncle Celestino Benza. Well, coach, a disappointing result. You came back the stronger in the second half, but then after that penalty, things just fell apart.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. We just gave away 2 simple goals. I just feel that we lost to ourselves today. We got the chances, we missed the chances, and unfortunately, we just gave away those goals. We're supposed to defend better.
So how do you pick up now a team that played so well in the second half, but eventually lost the game as you approach your next encounter?
Yeah, I think it's more of the concentration that is needed with our defense, so that we just don't give away simple goals. And it's also converting the chances that we get, because we got into the penalty area many times, but it's either we're not hitting at goal or we're making too many passes that were not necessary. So I think that there's need for us to work on that, so that we get those goals.
And lastly, before I let you go, coach, how much longer do the Herentals supporters have to wait for the return of Tino Benza? We saw him on the bench, but you did not call him in there. How much longer do they have to wait for his return?
Yeah, I think we really need to be patient, because I think there's no need for us to rush him to come back onto the field of play, just like what we did with Prince Chama and also with Kundai Sangare. We gave them 6 months. So I think there's need for us to keep on assessing Tino while he's training with the team, and then eventually he's coming in. But definitely I'm hoping that he's coming in soon.
Okay, Coach, tough luck. All the best for your next game.
Thank you very much.
Right, that was Uncle Celestino Benza. And remember, we also have, as always, your player of the match or the man of the match. We will say we are waiting for, well, the happier coach, the happier. That's how football is. I'm joined by Pastor KK, Kelvin Kaindu, the head coach of Hardrock Football Club. Well, congratulations, coach, and it must have felt good after coming away from that 1-0 loss, eventually 2-1 to Dynamos, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a good win for us. We've managed to pick 6 points from Herentals. They are a very, very difficult team, and for us even to score 2 goals and keep a clean sheet, it shows how much we have improved. We haven't done well when we have come to Rufaro. I think we have lost the identical scoreline both to Cape United and Scotland, but today we managed to pick up a victory. Not an easy game. We fought until the last whistle. But despite scoring 2 goals, I'm sure with a bit of composure we could have had a better scoreline. There were no moments that we saw them putting us under pressure, unless when they played the ball from the left. That is where they put too much pressure. That's why we had to make a tactical change, brought in an extra player just to come and close their left side of the wing.
Right, Coach, you are now on 42 points after this win, second to Scotland. Are you already looking at the end of the season? Because I'll tell you why I'm asking you this one. A lot of people are saying, well, the league is gone with Scotland. What's your take on that?
No. The league is still on. Of course, they have picked up a momentum. They are a team that have been consistent. I think they have won probably 7 or 8 games in a row. That shows how much momentum that they have gained. For us, we have achieved our objective. We are a newly promoted team. We don't want to start chasing the game in the last few games, because we'll be fighting relegation. Where we have gone now on 40 points, we are almost certain that we have survived. But we also want to consolidate the position where we are. If it's possible, continue to reduce the gap between ourselves and Scotland.
We've actually gone 42, Coach. You were on 39, you're now on 42. Well, Coach, congratulations and a safe trip back to the Midlands. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
Right, Pastor KK, Kelvin Kaindu, very, very happy indeed with the way it's gone. Well, he said that he said there they don't want to chase it because the Mabira supporters are saying that. I can tell you that. Well, it was quite an entertaining game because Herentals did come back in the second half, but after they considered that penalty, it was all over. Martin Mapisa doing very, very well in goal for Hardrock, because he kept them in the game when Herentals were throwing everything. But I'll tell you what, I'm joined by our 2 experts. I can tell you that the man of the match for this one was chosen by a panel of journalists as the Don, Donald Mudadi, the man of the match, picking up his $200 from the sponsors. Right, Jose and Sparrow are still here with me. Well, Jose, like Celestino was saying there, that second goal that they gave away really blew them away after they had piled on the pressure.
That's the unfortunate part, and that's the cruel part of football. When you are trying to chase an equalizer and then you will somehow remain vulnerable at the back, and that's actually what happened this afternoon, because this Hardrock maintained their defensive solidity, frustrating Herentals. Because, I mean, we need to make special mention for Martin Mapisa, the number of saves that he pulled out. But then on the counter, that's when the final nail was nailed on the Herentals coffin with that penalty. Well, that's the cruelty of football.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
For me, he was one of the front runners. I can actually tell you that we had Martin Mapisa, Prince Dube, and yes, Donald Mudadi, but Mapisa, Sparrow, and me had Mapisa had a slight edge, and I mean he really kept Hardrock in the game, didn't he?
I think he did. He kept Hardrock in the game. I mean, look at that save that he made.
Oh,
that was a match-winning save.
All right,
and I had called it 2-1, and he kept a clean sheet.
You'd call 2-1. Yep,
is the reason why Hardrock won this game. And I mean, yes, sometimes us as journalists we look at infield players, but I think goalkeepers and defenders also need to be recognized. For me, I would have given it to the goalkeeper Mapisa. Is the reason why Hardrock won today. I mean, he made a number of saves this afternoon.
Yeah,
he kept them in the game so many times.
Yeah. So the story of the second half was Martin Mapisa, MP. They call him MP for goalkeeping. That's what they reckon. Martin MP Mapisa, the MP of goalkeeping. And today he showed us pretty that day. As we saw the Lord Chiunga had two chances. One was saved by Mapisa and the other one flew over the bar.
Yes, very unfortunate. And I think we also want to take note of the fact that Herentals came in for the second half, a rejuvenated side. I'm sure they must have had a serious conversation at the halftime break, which made them come in the second half. I mean, hunting, they were on the prowl, but unfortunately they didn't get any goal. And I think Coach Celestino Benza told them something, and he tweaked his formation around and then produced this kind of momentum and the pressure that they presented in the second half. But I mean, look, as fate would have it, if you don't take your chances, you are likely to be buried. And of course, this afternoon they had nothing to do but just walk away empty-handed. It's very unfortunate.
That's right. Well, I can tell you that Jose headed 2-2. Abuda mchibanzi mwana mdara we Liverpool. Then Spencer Weman you. He had a 2-1 for Hardrock. Abuda futi mchibanzi. This time I didn't go into the debate. Right, okay. As we take a look at how the second goal came, it was Tawanda Chisi who conceded that penalty. And, yes, there was nothing that the referee could. He did it was the right call, and penalty it was Sparrow.
Good call from the referee, good penalty. Of course, the referee had a tough afternoon, and Salamani there winning the penalty for Hardrock, and the defender was left scrambling and they had to commit that foul, I think. And they committed the foul at the wrong time. And what a penalty! I mean, what a penalty by Washington Navaya.
Yeah,
spot on and well taken. I mean, the penalty took long for him to take, but he still managed to keep his cool and slot that ball past the goalkeeper,
Tino Takarinda.
Yes,
who otherwise had a good game. But Washington Navaya now thrusting himself at the top of the goal-scoring charts. He's now on 12, and Kama Billiard is on 11. Frank Agiameng is on 11 as well, and Ralph Kaundera is on 10. I can tell you that at Ngoni Stadium it finished Moz nil, Dynamos 2, Moses Demera, you take your pick. Demera or Demera, they are both correct. I remember asking him the other day, scoring the second one. Leroy Mavunga got the first one. And yes, then at Wazanai, the last we had, Agama had taken the lead over Triangle United. We still have to confirm whether it ended like that. But it shows, the log standing now shows us that Hardrock are still in second position. They have now cut the lead of Scotland to 7. 49-42, and it hasn't changed at the top because there is Ngezi Platinum there as well. So is Caps United, and then of course Herentals on sixth spot. This situation on the top of the log there, Jose, Mapvira have run away with it, do you think?
Maybe, perhaps not run away with it, but I think they are in with a good shout. And I think there's still going to be some changes, some rotation up top. But maybe special mention on the disappointment I have in Caps United. You know, after a glorious start, and then somehow they started, and to think that Caps United have fallen that low on the rankings, you know, it's a disappointing, I think, for the green side of the capital. But I think there's still a few changes that we might see coming in. But of course, Scotland have a good shout if they maintain the momentum, because I think their biggest strength has been consistency. Yeah, and they're also good on the road. So yeah, Scotland, I think, well, they might nick it, but maybe it's too early for us to call it at the moment.
7-point gap. Now, remember, I was talking to Pastor KK, and I put that question to him that some people are already saying Mavira Vira have gone away with it. What is his take? And he said, well, we are not going to go wild about closing the gap, something to that effect. We are fighting. We want to avoid relegation. I mean, was he just being modest to be the nice guy that we know he is? Let's find out from Sparrow.
Well, of course, there's a new team in the league, and it's the first year in the season. I think to survive relegation is something they wanted, but then again they had to readjust their targets after the team has performed so well, and I think it's just being modest. He could have actually gone. I mean, they are now 7 points behind the leaders. If Scotland loses 2 more games, they'll be 1 point behind. So I mean, if they could provide that they are winning, and I think it's just being modest, and I think they've got a shout in it. I mean, throwing Dynamos in the picture, they're now back in the fold, picking 3 wins out of 3 with the new coach, and I think they're also counting themselves. They're now in the top 3.
Yep.
I mean, at one stage, Dynamos were 7 points behind Caps United. Now Caps United is now behind Dynamos.
That's right.
And how it happens in the league.
I want to stay with you, Sparrow Day. You mentioned Dynamos, Dimbari. They're still in third, eh? They're still in third. It hasn't changed. It's Scotland, Hardrock, Dynamos in third. They are now on, they were on 37. They are now on 40. Can Dynamos have a realistic chance of winning the league title?
They've survived relegation. For this, they've survived relegation.
You're sounding like Pastor KK.
But they've got a chance to win the league. I mean, they are now against Scotland. They are about 9 points behind Scotland, which is basically about 3 games. And I think if they continue playing the way they're playing, they also play Scotland.
They do.
If they can.
What a game that is going to be here.
It's going to be massive. And the Hardrock also coming here to Trufaro. It's going to be massive. So if they can beat Scotland and the Hardrock, they're very much in and hope other teams do the job for them. Dynamos is Dynamos. You never rule them out of the championship. And even Caps United, despite being bottom there, but a few additions they made, they just need to start winning games. They've drawn so many games. They've thrown themselves out of the league for the number of draws they've been picking up.
But it's still, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Mavira Zotopera? What do you think? Well, no, don't look at me. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. But it's Scotland there on the top, and Hardrock are 2, Dynamos are 3rd. Gesi Platinum are 4th, eh? And then Caps United are 5th, Herentals are 6th, Highlanders are 7th. Jose, not many people talk about this team. Do you talk about this team? Maybe winning the league title? You know what I'm talking about? Jose, Gesi Platinum. I mean, they're there. They are there. Can Gesi Platinum win the league?
Yeah, well, for starters, I think as Platinum, we need to give them credit for putting up a sterling show that they have, considering that they are playing from a ban. You know, they were not allowed to sign any new players. So what did they do? They recalled some of their players who are away on loan, and also promoted their juniors to give us such competitiveness that they've demonstrated. I think they've done so well. For me, I think if that was one of their objectives of the season, I think they've achieved it, and they will give it to them. But as far as winning the league title itself, I'm not too sure if they will. But still,
could they?
No, I wouldn't think they will. I wouldn't think they will win the league.
Okay.
But still, they put up a commendable effort. I think for a team that has been playing from a suspension of transfers, I think they've done very well.
Yes. As we continue looking at the highlights here, Martin Mapisa. Martin Mapisa, the toast of Hardrock, especially in the second half. And, Hardrock, we will see what happens because there's still games there. I think 13 or so games to go. We will see. Now, let's look at the other half. It's not looking good for Triangle United. The last we had, I still haven't confirmed that. The last we had, they were trailing by 1-0 to the Sporting Eagles Agama. It's not looking good down there. have just been confirmed to me. A triangle lost by 1-0. So they are rooted at the foot of the standing. So there's a triangle down there. Manica Diamonds are there. Agama, Tel 1 are there as well. They lost to Scotland, remember, 2-0, and Agama. So Sparrow, Kaka is back. Genesis Mangombe is back at triangle. Can he have the Midas touch and do it like what he did, delivering triangle from relegation last season? Can he do it again?
I think it's a little too late, legendary Sinan. I think with 12 games to go, and I thought they would have picked up points against Agama.
A Houdini act, huh? Not a Midas touch, a Houdini act.
And well, it's going to be difficult, and I don't see them achieve that. And I think it's a tough season. All teams are playing for points. If you notice the gap between 6 and number 1, 6 and number 3, it's about 4 to 5 points. Then if you look at the bottom, the gap is quite there. A triangle need to win about 4 games for them to climb out of the relegation, hoping other teams are losing. Manica Diamonds also, that's another team that I think
they lost to Chicken yesterday.
Yesterday, and I think it's they are done and dusted. I think Triangle and Manica Diamonds, for me, this season it will be, if they survive, it will be a miracle.
And to add to that, Senan, allow me, I think the other problem for Triangle is that they lost to Agama, who themselves are fighting relegation.
That's right.
You see, it's always a difficult situation when you are losing to someone who's fighting the same objectives as you are. So if Triangle lost to another team and Agama lost, it will tell us a better story for Triangle. But the fact that Triangle lost to Agama, fellow stragglers from the relegation zone, I think it also paints a bad picture for them and paints a gloomy picture for the Sugar Boys.
But you know what, guys? Yes, but with the way the games are going now, some teams could actually slip into the relegation zone. I'm talking about Bulawayo Chiefs. I'm talking about Chicken Inn. I'm talking about Moors. The way it's going, it's a bit tricky, isn't it, right now?
It is very possible, legendary. And then we are right, the likes of Moors, Chicken Inn, I think Bulawayo Chiefs, they've not also been picking up points. But the good thing for Moors and Chicken Inn, the other teams that are fighting relegation, your Triangles, your Manica Diamonds, are also losing. So it brings a comforting breathing space for them. Knowing Chicken Inn managed to win, get precious 3 points that they needed. I think that's one team that have also been struggling for wins. And Moors of late haven't picking up points. And this one, losing to Dynamos at home, will be a bitter pill to swallow. I'm not sure if the Norton community will be happy with that result. Just hope they will not have a rush of blood and release the coach. And I think Lloyd Samaita has done a great job at Moors.
You just got to be patient. Exactly. You got to feel for Samaita.
He lost key players. Martin Mapisa is also
one of them.
Abu Bakr, a great midfielder. So they've got to be patient.
Martina as well.
So they've got to be patient with him, despite not wanting to achieve the result. They also need to invest in quality players and help the coach and transform the team. I think the executive for Moors need to be patient with the coach and just give him a chance and make him continue working on his team and building on combinations.
Yeah, and I know the director of Moors, that's Patrick Thompson. Well, I don't know what he's thinking now, but he's a great football man. He will know that's how football works. And I'd like to think that Lloyd Samaita, yes, fans are very unhappy with the way things are. Fans will always be unhappy about losing, but Lloyd Mutasa, you got to feel for him. What he did last season with the team in his debut season, he almost was there until the final games of whatever. Right, and you know what? Yes, the excitement was here at Rufaro Stadium. We always provide you with that excitement in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League. Now, in America, 4 teams are now left. There's France, Spain, Argentina, and England. And I don't know, Jose, Liverpool aimo. Yeah. He was going to say Liverpool, you know. He was going to
But
say
there's a Liverpool player in the semis, McAllister.
or a Liverpool player in the same as
Yes.
McAllister for
McAllister for
Argentina.
Argentina.
All right. Okay. What do you think?
Yeah.
Just quick. No, just I'm going to ask you. Put you in the deep end because we have to go. Who is going to win the World Cup? I just want it from you.
It's a difficult call between Argentina and France.
I just want one.
Well, I think France will nick
France.
it.
Okay. Sparrow, who's going to win the World Cup?
France for me are outright winners.
France.
I think they've played very well. They've got
Okay.
a balanced team, so I think France will take it.
Right. Me? The Warriors will win the World Cup. German Warriors. Right, okay, that's just about it from here. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did, bringing it to you week in, week out. So just leaves me to thank or to expect analysts, the man from the COP, Joseph Mkani. It's always good when you're around.
Always working together. You never walk alone.
Right, and the man from Old Trafford, that's Spencer Sparrow Nyamanzao. Sparrow.
Glory, 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 glory.
Ah, you see? Teachers were nice also. All right, okay. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing here on ZBC TV. It's always a pleasure when you join us. From everybody in the ZBC TV sports crew, fronted by our producers Bevan Shenrai, Stuart Shoriwa, Tinashe Manyoni, and Gina Gwanzura. Yes, we say, remember to take care of your loved ones and each other. I'm Charles, legendary CNN Mabika. Until we meet again, it's bye-bye for now.